Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
We're now watching the Half Your Deen Show with Samir Abdullah
And Imam Naeem Abdullah.
Half Your Deen Show.
Assalamu alaikum. We are
now watching the Half Your Deen Show on Northern Radio.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم تسليما الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected shaitan. May Allah bless our master, Sayyidina Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, companions, and give them peace. All praise is due to Allah, for he is sufficient for us. Peace be upon his slaves, whom he has chosen. As to what follows. Assalamu alaikum. You're now watching the Half Your Deen Show with myself, Samir Abdullah, and my co-host who will be joining us shortly, Imam, aka the genius, Naeem Abdullah. But before we begin, I want to make a quick announcement regarding our upcoming third information session. It will be held this Sunday at 5 p.m. EST time. This announcement is going to be posted on Imam Naeem Abdullah's page, and it does have the link for you to join in. I would suggest that you come on time because the time is limited to 40 minutes. And so during that time, if you have any questions to ask, or you just want to, listen in and see what we have in store, we welcome you, invite you, whoever you think may be interested in coming, please invite them to this information session. It is on Zoom. It's not live, it's not on Facebook or anything like that. So it's on Zoom, and there will be a link on Imam Naeem Abdullah's page, in which you click on at 5 p.m. EST on Sunday the 13th if you have any questions. Let's see here. With that being said, again, alhamdulillah, thank you for joining us. Let's see who is in the building. Alhamdulillah. Brother Adil, Brother Hassan Ali, Sister Samia, thank you for joining us. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. This show, we look forward to having you interact with us tonight. To give you your thoughts. Usually we're the only ones that's giving our thoughts, mashallah, and I know y'all appreciate that, but we want to hear from you, inshallah. Hassan Ali say, love the intro. Yeah, alhamdulillah, shukran, alhamdulillah. We just revamped it from the original one. So, alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
What up?
What up, though?
What's up? Where Brooklyn at? Alhamdulillah.
Home, Big Daddy Kane, Jay-Z.
Give it up, Habibi. Don't we don't need to know where Brooklyn at. I take it.
That's the Queens cats. That's how they act. They're all bougie. Them Queens cats is bougie.
Everybody is bougie to a Brooklyn cat. Allahu Akbar. Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Isa. Alhamdulillah. What were you saying, Habib? Go ahead. Proceed.
No, I was just saying that we're looking forward to the audience to interact with us. And I see that you put a link. So if y'all want to come in and join in and say something, you can. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. You could just be a voice. But we do want you to conversate with us. Conversation requires two people. Someone is giving information, the other one is receiving, and then once they receive it, they give information. That's how normal conversation works. But you know how some folk, they don't even listen. They just wait till you shut up so they can say what they want to say. We got to start doing that.
You said a conversation is two, not one?
Yes.
Two? It's two,
yes,
not one?
two. No, not one. It's two. One is a lecture. Two is a convo.
Lecture, conversation.
Yeah. Right.
Lecture, conversation. All right. Walaikum salam, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Imad.
Alhamdulillah. Issa said a day after the notorious B.I.G.'s death date. SubhanAllah. I remember
I don't even know.
Funeral. I remember the funeral procession.
I do too.
SubhanAllah. It was.
I was standing in front of Master Taqwa when the procession passed by.
Yep, I remember. Woo. SubhanAllah.
Where were you at when the procession was by?
I was at my house.
Which house?
On Madison Street. Madison and what was that street?
The one like 2 blocks from Masjid Khalifa.
Down the street from Masjid Khalifa.
Yeah.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot my old.
We didn't even know each other then.
No, I wasn't Muslim. I wasn't even Muslim. SubhanAllah. We talk about years. SubhanAllah. I became Muslim a month later in April.
Wow.
So a month later, I became Muslim. I took Shahada in April of 97. SubhanAllah. Wa alaikum salam to Sister Moni and Sister Deja and Brother Abdul Rahim. Thank you for joining us.
Abdul Rahim. I want to talk to you, Abdul Rahim. You too, Khadijah. I want y'all to come on if y'all can. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, somebody already in the queue.
Yeah. We didn't even specify we would talk about you. He here. I do. Alhamdulillah.
Somebody in the queue already. Oh my goodness.
Let's let him in. Bismillah.
All right, here we go. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Ado.
You have to unmute your microphone.
Alaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, you.
All right, I'm doing that. I'm driving at the time, so I don't have my camera on. I don't want to be distracted too much.
Alhamdulillah. So what's on your mind? How you doing?
Alhamdulillah. I'm good. I actually went up to you guys last year, like before the winter came. You know, one time nobody was home, so alhamdulillah. I think I posted it one time in your inbox.
Okay. Where was you coming from?
You know? Well, I'm a truck driver, so I'm over the road most of the time. So God knows, Allah knows where I was coming from.
Okay, I vaguely remember that. I remember somebody sending me an inbox or something. Yeah.
I do know where I was going though. You guys have like a Walmart on top of this really, really big hill. It's like elevated, really high. Like it took. I mean,
North for sale.
It's like say that again.
That's a North for sale off Route 30, right?
Man, I don't even know. Like I said, it was a few months ago.
Okay.
All right. But alhamdulillah, I'm glad you guys got this going on. You know, I've been keeping up with you guys for a while now, so I know I've probably been the annoying little brother in the background, but I don't mean any harm.
Never that.
Okay. Good.
Are you the one that's usually on YouTube watching?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nah, man. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, because, you know, I'm from Oakland, California, so my comments be kind of like off, what they call it, off color when it's rude or something, or whatever the heck.
I never detected any rude comments from you, man. Alhamdulillah.
All right, well, just let you know.
Yeah, all love, mashallah. We appreciate you, you know, being part of our family. Mashallah. We appreciate you.
Good. I'm headed to Gambia. I got my money right.
Allahu Akbar.
Alhamdulillah.
Allahu Akbar. You coming with us?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm about to go out there, you know, and see what you guys are really talking about. I mean, I'm interested in reconnecting with the Ummah across the pond, as they say.
Allahu Akbar. Yeah, we about to do it way big, inshallah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
So
we're
they
gonna
got,
make it. And then we're gonna make it an annual thing, inshallah.
right. So they got fried chicken and collard greens and yams over there, or what?
Nah, if we get any of that, we're gonna have to make it.
Is Umi making the Kool-Aid when we get there?
We're gonna have one Joe, better than Kool-Aid. One Joe is the way they make their hibiscus. What's the other name for it? What other names we got for it? Hibiscus, one Joe, what else?
Extra brown sugar in mine.
Allahu Akbar.
But now they're trying to be healthy. Use honey. Let's see what it tastes like with honey.
Yeah, inshallah.
Mashallah.
In fact, especially those of you who are going to be at Masjid al-Mu'min tomorrow, my daughter and her husband, they're going to have some one Joe at Juma tomorrow. I might buy up all their product. You see,
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Rahim.
See, you know, usually when people make hibiscus juice here in America, it be all watered down and all that stuff. Where they make that joint in Gambia is like that red Kool-Aid with that inch of sugar at the bottom of the container. But it's hibiscus, so it's healthy. It ain't like red number 40 and all that kind of stuff, right?
All right. So we're gonna make some ices or what? Out of guanjo?
Yep. Guanjo. I be liking my slushy sometimes, but my wife will tell you, you know, my taste buds crave for different things at different times. So 1 minute I'll be drinking a slushy. Later on that night, I want to heat it up like a tea, right? All that. So
Yeah. I can't wait. Let's do some comparison.
Yeah,
Ghetto ices against the icy guanjo.
Wow, Akbar. Yeah, we're gonna have fun too. So we're gonna learn some stuff. We're gonna interact, and we're gonna have fun. Alhamdulillah.
Good. I'm looking to, you know, give back to the community that's out there. Want to do some volunteer work. You know, get my hands dirty. I'm not trying to go out there for, you know, sipping tea, eating crumpets. You know.
Right, and they definitely appreciate you for it too. Alhamdulillah.
Good.
They're going to love the fact that there's some visitors coming that's not only black but also Muslim. A lot of time they used to dealing with European tourists and stuff like that and catering to their needs, but it's a whole different thing when you out there and it's time for salat and all of us go make salat together, right? You know,
right. It's all awkward when you with some Europeans and they hear the adhan. They like, okay, what should we do?
Like, oh, that sounds beautiful. What is that? Right?
They're trying to sneak the Europeans into the mosque on the prayer tip. Well, let me show you what it is.
Exactly. Alhamdulillah. And I'm also going to take y'all to some spots that the tourists don't usually go to, right?
Oh, wow.
So alhamdulillah. See, when you black and you Muslim, you get to do things other people can't do, right? Because there are a lot of tour operators out there, but you know, they ain't gonna want to go to the places we going to.
Should I be prepared to grease some palms when I get out there, or what?
Now you ain't gotta worry about that. I do it normally because I just give you an example, a small example. A haircut out there for a grown man costs you less than $1. Right? So a lot of times when I get my haircut, I pay them maybe the equivalent of $3 or $4, and they're very appreciative for that.
Okay.
It's nothing for us, right? What do we pay for a haircut out here? $25, $30.
Yeah.
And I say we. I don't
If you
include
paying $1 for a haircut, I might get a wax job.
And when I say what we pay for a haircut, I'm not really including myself because I'm not paying $25, $30 for no haircut. I'm sorry. I'm from the old school where $12 was a lot of money. So
all you need is a Bic and some blue badges.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Alhamdulillah. Abdul Rahim, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, how you doing, my beloved brother?
Alhamdulillah. Now, you know you're cutting into my nap time before work, right? Just for my
Okay, well, let's jump into it. But I got one question before we jump into it. How is our brother Abdul Jama?
The latest word I got is that he did have a stroke. He's having a hard time on the right side, and they hooked him up to a Catholic to get shots. So he's on high alert right now.
Let's recite Al-Fatiha for the soul of our brother Abdul Jama. That's the brother. He's their Amir, their leader out there in Wichita, Kansas. He had a stroke last night. So let's recite Al-Fatiha for him. May Allah give him a full recovery and expiation for all of his misdeeds and his sins. Ameen.
Ameen.
So let me ask your brothers. I'm going to start with you, Abdul Rahim. What are you looking for in a wife? I know you look for a wife, right? So what are the qualities that you are looking for in a wife?
Go ahead, Ryan. You got it.
There's not one particular, but if I was to say what's high on my list, number 2 is having the proper akida and a willingness to continue to learn. I guess that's the word is to learn, continue to learn and practice. That's really high on my list.
Subhanallah. You know, that's amazing so I know there's slim pickings. I know that's slim pickings if that's high on your list. The right akida and a willingness to learn. You know, we don't like to learn nothing. We just like to YouTube our way through the deen.
Yeah.
Calling me out.
I feel like an old book.
Say that again because you're breaking up a little bit.
I said I still like picking up the book.
Allahu Akbar.
You know, YouTube is not really my. Am I clear?
Yeah, I hear you. So,
I mean, there's other components to it.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there's other components to it. Of course, when you look at, I won't lie, I look at how you and Sister Samira interact. Obviously, you know you're married, but there's an interaction there where you two know each other before you say something, how you're gonna respond. And if there's a crack being or a joke being made, it's not to be taken seriously on that level because it's a known joke, you know. So it's that type of bond is that I'm looking for in addition to all of that.
You know, that's deep, and that goes a lot to speak to compatibility because Samira and I are friends. Like I look, because I never had a sister. So she's my wife, but I also look at her as like my sister, not just like my Muslim sister. She's like my sister. I grew up with our brothers and stuff, but I ain't never had no sister. So she's like my sister.
That's why we.
I'm doing a lot.
Right.
And Khadijah said,
Well, you know,
I think this is.
It's not that, you know, I
What'd you say?
Go ahead, brother.
You had broke up the last time you said something. Uh-oh. You don't want me to say it? Samira, do you want me to say it?
Be nice. Why he getting it together? Brother Otto, what are you looking for in a wife? If you're looking to get married. If you're not married already, I don't want to get nobody in trouble now.
Yeah. I'm legally married. Let's put it like that right now.
Mm.
So I'm actually separated from my wife. So I guess she's like, is we did it right. I mean, going off of you guys' videos and going off of the imam that's in Denver, Colorado, we got Islamic divorce, got an Islamic marriage, and got an Islamic divorce. Divorced now about 2 years ago. But as far as the qualities of a wife, I would definitely say that I'm looking for someone more learned than I am, someone who could be more devoted to the deen, as far as being more informed. Just due to the fact that I do work a lot and I'm not able to travel, sit at the feet at those who are students of knowledge. That I'm not going to be the person that has a strong hold of information in this deen. I'm sincere, to whatever she comes out and informs me about what she has learned. So I'm looking for the qualities of somebody who's really interested in this spirituality and this walk of faith, and making sure that we are able to pass on a stronghold of this legacy to our children, the next generation. So that would be number one. And then, of course, number two is always being attractive, in my favor, in my eyes. But that number one is definitely the first thing I'm looking for.
What's your response to that, Samira? What do you think about, what our brother Adu just said?
I think that's doable. As far as he said that he wanted somebody that's more than him in knowledge, I think it should be at the same time. As far as not the level, but just the aspiration, the motivation to get in knowledge, So I think that should be at the same, that should be for both parties. Like as far as getting that knowledge. Because you can have somebody that say, well, I want somebody that's knowledgeable than me, but that not necessarily mean you're going to learn from them or take from them, right? So, so it's good that you both are learning, and you may be on different levels, but y'all both are still motivated to learn. And that is something that y'all both agree on, like, we're going after this knowledge. We're making it part of our, of our lives. We're going to make that a priority. And I'm not talking about like you trying to be, scholars or anything like that. It's nothing like that. Just making sure that your foundation is strong. And you always got to make sure the foundation is not cracking. Because just because you got it right one time, you might veer off and that foundation start cracking. You wonder why things are the way it is because you didn't reinforce or, fix those cracks before they, got bigger. Like in marriage. Marriage has its ups and downs. It's not always going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows and stuff. It's going to be, you know, thunderstorms, going to be hurricanes, you know, going to be tsunamis, depending on the situation, right? But because you built such a strong foundation, you're able to be resilient against that. It ain't going to be easy, but you more likely want to work through it. People that didn't have a good foundation, they're not willing to work through anything. They're just ready to give up. I ain't doing this. I'm get out of here. So, mashallah. Let's see who else is in the building before we could proceed. Brother Yahya Abdul Jami. Wa alaikum salam to Nabi Katu. Sister Bahia. Thank you for joining us. Brother Abdullah. Brother Moshir. Who else is in the building? Callie Khadija. Wa alaikum salam to Nabi Katu. Brother John. Let's see who else came in the building. I want to make sure we show some love. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so mashallah. We got two Abdul Rahim. Let's take him now. Wait a minute. Take him down and add him here. All right, Abdul Rahim, you with us? I think he having some issues, mashallah. There you go. Can you hear us?
Some cornfields.
I
Not to say it.
I told you not to.
You ain't the boss
Yeah,
of me. I said
had
it.
to get a it was telling me to get room.
Uh-oh. You breaking up, Abdul Rahim.
Come on down.
Get downstairs. Get downstairs and do this work. Why you got in your hand?
We hear you yelling at the kids again, Samira.
I'm sorry.
Right. You just did that tight lip. You just did that tight lip stuff that mothers be doing. Get to work. I told you to. Right? That's what you just did. Everybody saw you even with the niqab on. I told you to.
Hello, subhanallah.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. Yep, we can hear you.
Now, but you know, you like can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Let me look in the comments. Brother Moshe said Dean first and foremost, yes. Khadija said that takes time to build up to what you had described. Yeah, a lot of things that, you know, you see couples, like, you observe couples and you're like, wow, they're so compatible and they this and that and whatever. It took time for it to reach that point. The problem with today is that people want, like, you know,
they want ramen.
Right. They want ramen marriage, right? They want it like overnight.
Not overnight, 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, right then and there, right?
You don't even cook ramen in pots no more. In microwave. Like we talk about microwave Islam, microwave marriage.
Right.
Ramen.
That's true. So
noodle, water, sauce package, microwave, 3 minutes, eat.
And it don't work that way. It doesn't. And you have to, subhanAllah, it's a whole lot to this that I wanted to say. We want it now, right? We want a marriage that's like perfect right now. And then not only that, we want what somebody else got. Like we covered other people's situation. You don't know how they got to where they are. That's not your situation. You will never attain that. That's why I would always tell sisters, build your own marriage. Build your relationship with your husband. Stop looking at someone else because that's not for you.
Same thing for the brothers. A lot of times us brothers take advice from another brother. Yeah, but nah, I let my wife know, and I don't do this, and I do this, and she do that, and I don't let her do this, and she do that, whatever. You think, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. No, man, this ain't no cookie cutter stuff, man. Well, it may work for him, it may not work for you. Right? You gotta build on your own.
Brother Moshe said, no ramen noodles for me, no microwave marriage.
Even no two marriages are the same. You have to build your own marriage. Brothers have to understand sometimes that what one brother may do or not do with a sister, you may come behind and expect that be able to do the same thing or not do the same thing, and it ain't going to work for you. For example, I give this a popular example. I knew a brother who was married to a sister. He wanted to get a second wife, and she was not having it at all. No, you ain't marrying no other sister. You do, I'm out. He married another sister, and she was out. And she married another brother, and that brother got more than one wife. She tolerated polygyny from that brother, but wouldn't tolerate it from that brother. So even with the same person may tolerate something with you, but not with them, or vice versa. Raheem frozen. He popping. You know what they call pop locking, right? We never used to call that. We used to call that popping. Pop locking. Are you pop locking?
No, that's, yeah. They just said one may have a wife that says yes, babe, while another may have a wife that says, nigga, who are you talking to?
Like Musher said, alhamdulillah, the Joneses ain't got no place in your marriage relationship. Exactly. Stop bringing them in there.
And most of the time, these people don't care about what you have. It's like, what I mean by that is, they say, "Ooh, I want what you got," but they just be talking. So people just be talking, a lot of times. And I take it like a grain of salt. Like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But then you have those people that are envious, and they're like, why he with her? Or why he with him? Why she with him? Like, I'm better than that person. You don't know what it is that they have. You don't know the chemistry that they have to come together. Like, you have like some women, they think because they do certain things, they are better than the next woman. You could do everything in the world, and that man's still gonna want that person. It don't matter. That doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, you could be on, stand on top of your head, all types of tricks, right? He's still gonna go back to that other one. Yes, you took his attention for a minute, you did the hand tricks or whatever, but then he like, okay, you done? All right, let me go back over here, right? Am I lying?
Nope. Laysa dhakaraka untha. The male is not like the female. And a lot of times, women think they understand men and how and why we think and do what we do, but that's not the case. You don't understand us. And vice versa. Like, we don't understand y'all. Sometimes we think we got it. Yeah, I got it. I understand women. Oh, never mind. Forget it. I thought I did. I ain't got it. Never mind.
That reminds me of that meme. You seen that meme, like how to understand women? And there was a book, like it's like a thick book.
I always look at, because we sort of kind of talking like about polygyny, or like a man's natural desire for more than one woman or wife, right? I look at it like this, and I don't think it's a bad analogy. I look at it like say a person likes eating oranges, right? They love oranges. And then the next day, they want grapes. Because they ate grapes that day, does that mean that they don't like oranges no more? No, they want grapes today. It doesn't mean that, because you ate grapes that you hate oranges. I think it's a good analogy. Number one, because the analogy between marriage and food, because Allah makes or connects marriage and food in Surah Ma'idah. Their food is permissible for you, and yours is permissible for them. And their women, Musana Utul Kitab, the chaste women from who have received their book, are permissible for you. So even in the Quran, there's a connection with marriage and food. So I think this is a suitable connection or an analogy indicating how the average man thinks with regards to woman. Just because he's attracted to her, that doesn't mean he's any less or any more attracted to you. A lot of women don't understand that. He don't love me no more. Yeah, he still love you. But why is he with her? It ain't got nothing to do with you. But you don't understand it. You're not a man.
That is true. That's like the main complaint from women. Why is he looking for another wife? Why he want to get another wife? Is there something wrong with me? Right? And then for the outsiders, oh, he doing that because she did something. And that's not even necessarily the case. Right? It's not. That's not even always the case. Look at the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Right? Mm-hmm. He married multiple women, our mothers, right? May Allah be pleased with all of them. Mm-hmm. Did that mean that he was like, oh, she trash, let me go, get another one? No, it wasn't even like that. Each one of them had a different scenario, situation, and they try to like explain why the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a wife. Like, oh, he did that because they were widows, or they did that. So Aisha wasn't a widow. Like they make up these scenarios about why, like he had to have a reason why.
Any of those books that say that, disregard them. They're going to tell you why the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did something that he never said. The Rahim. He's still popping.
Walaikum salam.
It's not me, it's in y'all. It's my phone.
Even his speech is popping. Rock to the planet, rock. Don't stop.
Subhanallah. But Brother Moshe said, grapes and oranges. I love it. Makes sense. Teach and preach. MashaAllah. Mad said, very true. It is easy to want better. It may be at times a little difficult to implement some changes, but by continuing the intention and putting yourself in position for it, like in places that complement your intention, it will happen, inshallah. Wa alaikum salam to Abikatu, Sister Haja, Stacy. Thank you for joining us.
Imad, come on in and join us.
We need some sisters up in here too. I don't want to be the only sisters up in here. Let's see here.
Adul's on the road. It look like it's still daylight where you at.
Can you hear us, Adul?
No, I can barely hear you guys. I don't know why the skin doesn't work. It ain't working out. Hold on.
MashaAllah.
Brother Isa said some women that have issues with polygyny have no problem with being in an unhealthy monogamous marriage with the same man.
That's true. That's true. Some women even openly express it. They'll be like, man, he can cheat with me, but he better not marry that hoe. You know how your sisters talk, right? Okay, but as long as I'm the one, right? You know, he married to me. He married that hoe, that side piece, I'm out. Comes out of the mouth of many Muslim sisters. Not paying attention to the implications about what they're saying. In other words, I prefer and I will tolerate the haram, but I will not, under any circumstance, tolerate doing it halal.
That's deep. That's deep. Because you're saying I'm campaigning, you know, an action that can take a person to the hellfire. I'll rally that. I'll back that up. Right? But when it is a situation that is halal, something that Allah rewards, right? That is barakah and Allah is pleased with, I don't like that. I'm not with that. So what does that say about you as an individual? It says a lot. You need to fix your heart.
I think it definitely can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you real good.
All right, cool. I think we see that a person who's willing to do things in the dark, you know, like that side chick stuff, is a person who's worried about how their family and community would judge them if they, you know, publicly condone something that is taboo.
Right.
But that's so crazy because in the same token, the person have a side piece, right? People will rearrange their whole life to make sure that that side piece is, you know, come to functions. I've heard that, like you can't go to certain functions, or you can't come, you know, to the mama house, or you know, just some craziness, you know. And people know that that's the side piece, and everybody just keep mum, you know. What you gotta say, DJ? DJ,
you said you wanted some sisters on here, so I'm just support.
Alhamdulillah.
What's your ideal spouse, Khadijah?
Well, for for protection reasons, I'm not going to say like specifics on what I want in a man, because being intended, you know, you do not want to, as a woman, you don't want to be like, this is what I want in a man just so someone can fake it until they got you. So for like the glamour of things in a marriage, I would like somebody that is consistently implementing good values, even if they don't come from them. You know, they say they want better, so they actually consistently implement them. And I do like gifts. I like
who don't like gifts?
I like someone that does things for the community and not just to get a woman, but someone that actually is involved in their community in vital roles, because there's not that many, but especially in our communities, not that many people who will be dedicated that way. So
no, that's deep what you just said. You probably didn't think you said nothing deep, right? But that's how I met Samira. I was active in the community. She was a new shahada, active in the community. Like, for example, like we normally tell like part of the story, but at the same time that Imam Siraj asked me to take care of some business for her, right, when I officially met her, her oldest son, Saeed, was in the masjid's summer camp. And I was, helping with that summer camp. So I was interacting with her and Saeed, and now I got this other interact. So just by the nature of being active in the community, I met her. And a lot of times we've normalized these unnatural ways of meeting each other. Okay, I'm going to the Muslim, marriage social media app or Facebook or whatever. And I really think the best way to meet someone is in a natural environment, work, the masjid, or you meet them in their space, what they're doing when they're doing what they will be doing, even if you never existed. Right? You seeing people in their element, right? And so, like, I met Samira. She was doing her thing. I was doing my thing, and we crossed paths. And she snatched me up.
Assalamu alaikum, my sunshine.
Walaikum salam, sunshine. I don't know what's going on. I just came out of a crazy meeting, and I saw people jumping on, and I heard, "I'm not being supported. Come on, sisters." So I was like, I'm jumping in with my sunshine. I don't know what's happening, but I just jumped in a crazy virtual meeting. It's time not to let me open up my building and do something for the kids in the community. So I said, I'm already hyped up. So what are we talking about?
We are talking about marriage. We were asking so far, what are you looking for in a husband? An ideal husband.
A man. No, I'm just playing. Because I get accused of fishing when I say stuff. So so let me take that back before it's taken out of context.
We see in your heart. We know why you here.
Right. I'm here for Samira. It's gonna sound super cliche, but I want a brother who is who honors and respects himself as a man first. I want a man who understands that he and I are created differently. And when Aisha Prime said that, when she said they put Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put Adam to sleep, I was like, oh, that's it for me. I'm special. I'm super special because he had to go to sleep so he could do what he did for us. So, and understand the dynamics of intimacy and love at a different level. And I'm not saying that you have to be psychologically in tune with it, but just to understand that women and men are different. He has to love Islam. He has to love it. Like that has to be his absolute love of his life first. I cannot be the love of his life if he is not loving Allah, his Rasul, and everything that comes along with Islam. He has to be super silly. He has to be able to have very in-depth conversations, and he also has to be able to be super silly again. He has to love family. He has to love being around me, because sometimes men don't, and women, but I'm telling you what, sometimes men don't know how to, they're very linear. They were created to be very problem solved. We cry and we're like, I just need you to listen. And as men are listening, they're like trying to figure it out. Don't figure it out for me. Just listen to what I'm trying to tell you and tell me it's going to be okay, babe. It's going to, and then give me, give me that. He has to be, I'm very protective. I have girls, so I'm very protective of my girls and my grandkids. So I'll chop you up real quick. If not respecting of my kids. I'm just saying, I sound really, really crazy. I'm telling you, I'm on 100.
I think you asking for a whole lot, Sister Khadijah.
Is that a lot?
You want us to actually listen to you? I'm joking.
I know you are, and I want him to understand that I'm a safe space. Like I'm dope. I'm hypersensitive, but in the field of work that I'm in, I work with children and I do case management and social work. So I'm hypersensitive. It's a superpower for me. I have to, I have to be that way for the people that I'm serving. And he gotta want to hold my hand in public. I mean, I know Shafi'i now we gotta have to make wudu every time we go outside, but I'm saying he gotta want to hold my hand, you know, and be with me. I'm not intimidated because I know who I am as a woman. I know what I want, and I want him to be just as confident, because it took me a little bit to get confident. I've always been bubbly, but I've not always been super confident in myself as a spirit and as a person, you know.
SubhanAllah. That's deep. SubhanAllah. I used to say wear gloves.
Listen. I'm about to make my order again, bro.
You said something that stuck out to me. You said something like he has to be confident in his, like, secure in his own manhood. Yes. And I think that's more important. Like, that's so important, because especially as Black women, we can be very headstrong, and especially when we know our community needs so much help, and we're just like so headstrong about it, and that can intimidate some people. But if he is secure in his manhood, then he's not going to be intimidated by it. He will see what's behind that drive. Yes. You know, and he won't.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a damsel in distress. I love for men to take their place, like open the door. I'm telling you, if I have something real small, I'll have men who will say, "Oh, sis," and alhamdulillah, there are people that still respect Muslim women, and so sis, can I carry that to you for your car? I'll say, you sure can, because I love chivalry. For me, that's what it is, and so I'm okay with stepping in the back. I don't need to always be there for you. My strength comes knowing that you're my protector and maintainer. And then my strength comes in knowing that I got your back. I'm your citadel. You know what I'm saying? So when you're gone, I'm your citadel. I'm standing out there. And then when you come in, I'm like, okay, job done. And I'm going in the house. It's just what it is, you know, and no, cooking and cleaning is not our major responsibility. But you know what? We're nurturers. Allah created us to be nurturers. He created us to do those things, and not talking about cooking and cleaning. I'm talking about that feminine part of us, the soft part of us. So I don't have to be hard like that. I'm tired of being like Chef Aisha Prime said. I'm tired of being hard all the time. I don't want to be a strong Black woman all the time. Yeah. I want to be the soft, gentle Black woman, Muslima, that's like, okay, you got this, but I still want to know how to fix my car because I'm going to mechanic school too. But you know,
hey, Samira got issues with damsels in distress.
No, she doesn't, because I'm her sunshine. So she understands me. So she no matter who it is, she know. Look,
there's a context to that.
That's exclusive to me, right, sunshine? Everybody else, no, but for me, she's like, I understand what she's saying.
No, Samira don't like damsels in distress when it comes to me.
Oh, okay. You got that one. But see, you my big brother, so because you probably older than I just turned 48, so but if
I'm older than somebody, subhanallah.
You said what?
I'm older than somebody, subhanallah.
Yes, you are. So
I'm used to the other two imams sending me to the store because I'm the youngest one.
Right. So if I'm calling like bruh, my car, she knows that I'm calling you because I need help. She knows I'm not going, bruh. I'm not doing that. Because I don't do all of that stuff. That stuff is no. But
thank you.
Y'all are there to assist us, and hey, carry it. I don't need you to see my muscles and all that stuff. But take it if you need.
You just got a big thank you from Samira. Everybody heard that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because a lot of other sisters don't do that.
No, the way she put that, she described it perfectly. When that comes in, because you have some sisters, that's their way of flirting. That is their opening to flirt with you and think that it's like, how can I say it? They do it in a wet manner that it's like slick. Like I know that's your husband. That I have a piece. I can get a piece of him too. You know.
Yep.
No, you can't get a piece of him like
and
that.
she and I had that side kind of like I said to her, if it ever seems like, she was like, please, girl, because but it's just who, like, I'm very bubbly, like it's just who I am, and of course, you know, you have to keep a certain adab, but I'm not that person that's gonna be like, but I'm also like, I'm not trying to push up on you. I really am not trying to.
But there are sisters that do be trying to push up,
and
they
look,
be like very like they're very like overt with it, like it's
that's a
no
fact.
shame.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And no, not this Khadija. Khadija, no.
I know. And it has nothing to do with jealousy.
Right.
Being recognized
It's
game.
respect. It's respect and it's integrity. Because
exactly.
who wants somebody who's going to be pushed? Well, I mean, there are some brothers that do, but who wants somebody that's going to push up on you, knowing that, number one, that it's, you know, it's halal for him to have a second wife or a third or a fourth wife, and then you have another wife. So what man, and I'm trying to be careful because I know the brothers sometimes will, you know, again, they'll think I'm fishing and then they think I'm trying, but what man is going to respectably want a woman who they know is actively flirting, knowing that their wife is around? Who would want that? What does that say about you as a husband, as a Muslim? What does that say about you? So if somebody is actively doing that,
a lot of brothers ain't thinking that deep. A lot of brothers will take that and be like, you know what? She feeling her brother. Ignoring the fact that this sister just disrespected your wife.
That's a fact. And that's where that comes in.
And you bring that sister in your marriage, and then be amazed why them two is having problems later on.
And but see, that's what it is. Now, this is a joke. I have to foreshadow and say this is a joke. So women have two X's. Men have the X and the Y, right? That part that you just talked about, Imam, is that little clipped off piece from the Y that used to be an X. That's what that is. When y'all go, what? No, she's not trying to. We're looking at you like, son, like, yo, get out of here. Like, you already know what she's doing. She's coming. I need an extra class, man. Can you take this Alice or is this bad? Come on, son. You know what you're doing. You know, and I know what she's doing, but it's that clipped off piece from the X that makes them go, no.
The bat has one dot on the bottom. Did you get it? No, I really don't quite understand. What's a dot? Like, mashallah, she asked her brother what a dot is.
Oh, subhanallah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but it's a whole bunch of comments coming up. Somebody says something. Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not getting.
I want to say this, like,
Khadija, you choppy. Can you do something with your mic?
Me?
We hear you, but it's choppy.
How's it choppy? Maybe because I had it on.
It's like it's staticky, kind of.
Keep talking.
Really? How? That's weird.
Yeah, it's still choppy. But go ahead.
I think her name is Samia or Samaya. I hope you're like laughing saying this is so disrespectful, because in all honesty, like, I'm joking, but there's truth in it, but just kind of livening stuff up.
When you see the comment, sometimes they're commenting on something else, so you can't tell what they're saying it for.
I'm not used to all of this. When I do my lives, I just come on. I don't wait for anybody to come on. You see me. I just start talking. I don't even.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam to Abikatu, Sister Rukaya, and Sister Miriam. Miriam came into the room, and Brother Farouk. Did he give salam? Let me see if Brother Farouk gave the salam.
Now, maybe he's too busy putting his suit on. Where you at, Farouk?
All right, there you go, Khadija. Alhamdulillah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's better. That's much better.
I left the mic on. Sorry. Yeah, but I wanted to say, like, Imam Naeem can tell me if this is like realistic in a man or not. But being a passionate woman and like having a drive for like bettering my community and everything, if like I mentioned before about man being secure in his manhood enough to know that this isn't her being like, this isn't me being like masculine, but this is me being passionate, right? And if the man thinks it's too much, instead of making, well, I'm gonna just say woman, instead of making the woman feel some kind of way for being passionate about her community, instead take up some of the weight that she's dealing with. Take up some of that weight that she, ask her what is her plans for the community, what she think needs to be done, and then do some of them.
Alhamdulillah. I agree with that. Samaya said, no, I'm saying sisters be so disrespectful.
Okay. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I think as a leader and a husband who's also a leader, right? Any real leader doesn't want to put out somebody's fire. In other words, if you're a leader, the people under you, if they're motivated, that's what you want, because there's a lack of it. If you have a wife that's motivated, that's what you want, right? Like some of the brothers mentioned before, they want somebody that's motivated to learn the deen and all of these things. So from my perspective, I can't speak for a lot of brothers. I think any brother who may disagree with me, may have some reasons, but from what I've seen from experience, a lot of times it'd be some other pathological type stuff, where they feel threatened by the passion or the motivation or the drive, especially if that passion, motivation, and drive is not destructive and it's not harmful. At best, you want to, if anything, direct it in the right direction. You don't want to pour cold water on it. We need more passion. We need that energy, right? Exactly. So many people are just like, blah.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need another blah.
Nope.
We need passion and energy and drive and motivation.
And don't get mad at me when I wake you up at the tahajjud. Don't get mad at me when I'm reading the Quran, because I read choppy, but I have dedicated myself to reading 2 pages of the Quran every night or every morning. And so don't get mad at me when I'm like, sit up here and listen with me. I don't care if you can't do it. We gotta do this together. And it's not me fighting you. It's me trying to grab us to get to Jannah together. Because what do I want, sunshine? What do I want in Jannah? What do I want? Tell me, what do I want?
That wine. We're going to be
I want the wine. So we can be sitting on the couch drinking the wine together. And look, I'm joking with the truth because it's what it is. And so, and then I also think too that because we have had to be that way, and because, just to speak to what Khadija is saying, we've been that way, and sometimes we feel like we have to be that way. It's almost like a subconscious kind of approving that, I can take care of myself, because for so long we have had to take care of ourselves. And then when somebody comes in and says, I got this, it's a little intimidating even for the woman to say that. Because, again, not fishing. I'm, being a single mom, working full time, having to take care of my household. Now, when my husband comes in, I'm going to be very happy that I could step to the side, because it's very exhausting. And I'm going to be excited that somebody else is going to be there to take the load off of me. And I'm not talking about 5K and all that stuff. So please don't misunderstand me with that. I'm saying the spiritual exhaustion that comes with being by yourself. And this is male or female, because there are men who take care of their children, who are exhausted, who want their other half to come in. And there's just a comfort in knowing that you can come home and there's somebody there. And so I do, but this is rhetorical. It's like, I don't understand the tug of war with us understanding our divine roles. We have divine roles. Allah has given us roles. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's given us roles. So why are we fighting it? Let's not fight like dag. Let's work together and just kind of, work in unison. Trust me, it'll work.
You know why? You know why there's a tug of war? Because we got caught up in this thinking, this new age thinking.
Agreed.
About the roles of You know, I can't even say male or female anymore because they done like blurred all the lines. It's like there is no identity.
Nope.
It's whatever that you feel like being like that day. You know,
they took my rainbow. I'm mad they took my rainbow. Why you take my? Give me my rainbow back.
You know what I mean? So nobody knows. Like women, you know, they play the role of men so long. They don't know how to be a female, and it's like a weakness if she go, you know, if she played the role that Allah has, you know, have given her. And then the men on the other side, they are attacked for being masculine. Okay, I gotta tone down my masculinity to a point that you can't tell him from a female, right? So when you're trying to be a man, it's called toxic masculinity. And we should never use those terms. Toxic masculinity, take that out of your vocabulary because you are feeding into the narrative that our men are no good. They need to be, you know, made extinct, and y'all got it. And you know, and you can trade his place with another female, all right, or some other craziness, right? So stop feeding into their narrative. By one, stop using their vocabulary. That's where we mess up at. Like intersectionality is another term that they use. Intersectionality. When I see a Muslim use that term, I'm looking at them sideways. Look at it. Intersectionality. That is not a good term.
Like Imam Dawood mentioned, if it's toxic, it ain't masculine. Farouk got all his excuses about why he can't come on. Right now he asking Khadijah for permission if he's allowed to comment tonight.
But this is so true. And if people,
he's asking Khadijah, you're Khadijah?
Yeah.
You asking my permission because it's last Sunday.
Yeah, we would like to hear what Brother Farouk, if Sister Rakaya, give her permission to do so. We want to hear from Miriam too. Like, we want to know, like, what are you looking for in a spouse? Now,
and we want to hear from Issa.
Right. We want to hear what you're looking for because we go around, we don't know if somebody's looking for me, right? That's what it is. Like somebody saying, this is what I'm looking for.
Ain't nobody better be looking for you.
I ain't talking about me.
So don't say me then.
Say them. Happy. Look at him. Look at him making sure his booty is all secure. He's like, nobody better not be looking at them eyes. No.
But you know what? Let me say this here. I have to say this here. We be doing ourselves in. I'm talking about women. And when we make these, like, we propose these different scenarios, we know it's not all, because we got this group called Not Allians, and they'll say in a quick second, not all people, not everybody. We're just saying, we're just telling you different scenarios because they exist, right?
In general, yes.
In general, it exists. So if you are married, say that you get married.
Come on in, Issa.
Say that you are a married woman. I'm gonna ask you this question. But what do you think about a woman that's married that have to prove that she still got it? Like she's looking for other men to compliment her, or what do you think about women that does that?
She's insecure. There's an insecurity. There's something with her. It doesn't have even anything to do with any male in her life or anything. That's an insecurity within her that she's not feeling. And also, if let's say she's married, hopefully not doing that, what is her husband not doing? But your husband cannot fulfill all of you. You have to fulfill you. I'm just saying, in addition to you fulfilling you, what is your husband not doing to make you feel like you are, for her, you are enough, period. Like you're enough. So it's
that
a
was the
dynamic.
complaint.
There's a dichotomy in that
Right.
you have to look at yourself, and then in that marriage, how is your partner? What is he doing to help you? Because he can't complete you. And that's what a lot of women have to, he can't. He's not going to be able to complete you. You can't say, I'm going to get married so that I can feel beautiful every day. That has to come from you. It has to come from you looking in the mirror, looking at your I'd say war scars, because you know when you get stretch marks from babies or weight or whatever, those are your war scars. Those are
So do you think that the husband play a part? Like he's like that is his fault that she feel that way? Like say for instance, some men, when they wives get pregnant and you know we get overweight, you know things start hair falling out, you know all types of things happen with us, right? Changes. Some men is like turned off from that. They're like, ugh. Yeah. I'll see you when you have the baby and lose all that weight and get back to your,
that has a part in it. Now, if he's doing that, then he has something wrong with him. This is what I tell my womb children, and I say womb children, the ones that I bore and the ones that I tell that I have interactions with. People make fun of you because there's something about themselves that they don't like. And so if you are doing that to somebody, you have to reevaluate who you are and see if there's something about yourself you don't like. So are you angry because she's gaining weight? What are you angry about? Knowing what my body goes through, knowing that if I pass away during this childhood, look, you can do all that, because if I pass away during childhood, guess where I'm going? And guess where you're not going? You know what I'm saying? So there's again, it's always a dichotomy when it comes to that. And that's why, I don't get caught, and I'm not saying this about you, Sunshine, but it's like, I don't get caught up in those, the gender war debates, because there's always a dichotomy when it comes to a relationship. But it always boils down to, how do you feel about, what is your self-perception? And if your self-perception is not intact, nobody can say anything to you. Like on the cartoon, Bugs Bunny, when she was like, tell me more about my eyes. It's like, that's going to work for a minute. But when you start to really have to undo yourself and the new word, unpack yourself, it's going to come down to, how do you feel about you? And if you feel good about yourself, your husband is going to, you are, as back in the days, I'm glad I'm in the room with y'all, because Khadija, you don't know. But you're a dime piece. You're going to be a dime piece if you feel good about yourself.
Right.
Period.
That's right.
And I think that the thing that we lack is somebody teaching us, women, if you feel good about it, we are that. Without
we hear you,
someone.
Abdurrahim.
SubhanAllah.
So yeah,
I want to put that out there because a perfect example of this in the celebrity world, sports world, is what's that cat name? Curry, that basketball player. What's his name? Stephen Curry and his wife. What's his wife's name?
Aisha.
Yeah,
Aisha Curry. Mm-hmm. Have you been following her?
No.
Like, he's very famous, right? Mm-hmm. Women throw themselves at him, right? Mm-hmm. You married to this dude. You know what his daily life look like, right? Like my son said, he's with you. He's married to you. Mm-hmm. Why are you worried about these women? If he respects you and love you, he know that's going to happen. He's going to, but this chick going to be like, well, I want to know if I got it too. Like, well, you gotta even prove that you still got it. You got him. That's not enough. Like,
I have a late feed.
Like him salam.
Oh, he said he had delayed feed.
We didn't hear you, Samira. We can hear you, Abdurrahim, though. We can hear you.
Oh, yeah, we hear you. But
I'm hearing like a double feedback.
Women,
okay.
Women, when, we like, even with the male, you have men, like, I'll tell you this story. I used to work for the post office, and it was this dude. I was a new shahada. I don't even know if we married or not by that time. So, I got my little cream on, And this dude was like flirtatious to everybody. And I can recognize him that he's like, he think he the man around the, you know, post office, right? He tried to play that stuff with me, and I just like pour ice cold water. And he was like, got offended that I didn't feed into that. Like, you don't need me to make you feel good. But apparently he did. And he wasn't feeling me after that. When you notice that you are married to someone like that, or you about to marry someone that is like that, run the other way. Because they're going to be all up in people's faces. If brothers, if you see a woman and she's flirtatious, all the brothers' faces, always, you know, all that extra stuff, and don't see nothing wrong, turn the other way. Because you're asking for trouble. And like I said, that flirtation turns into an excuse like, well, I wanted to ask a question only that he can answer. You know, making these excuses to try to be all up under that person. It don't work. And if you find that in a person, that's something that they're not going to easily, you know, get rid of. That's part of them. Not to say they can't change, but do you want to deal with that to see if they're going to change? Like, don't even get into it.
I want to bring Issa on, but what happened on Sunday's show that Farouk is talking about? I don't think I caught that. What happened? What did he talk about? Khadijah?
Come on over here.
You're talking about the 3453 show?
Yeah.
Okay, so this what happened. When I started watching the classes online and everything, like Brother Farouk, what he will always do was talk about women and say, like, I remember something that turned me off. He said women, we would talk about having standards and everything, and we got into this debate because he said that women are less valuable when they, you know, can no longer produce. And I was like, what? That's not even an Islamic mindset. And he just seemed to always be talking about women's stuff, women's womb and all this stuff and their value. And on Sunday show, near the end, we talked about feminism is like us women was talking. And then he popped in and I was like, I don't want to hear what you got to say. You know, like, you always do women's business.
Okay, I was wondering what y'all was talking about. What happened Sunday? What I miss?
Wa alaikum salam to Nabi Brother Nadam. Thank you for joining us.
Issa, Abdullah here, my beloved brother. How are you? Welcome to the platform.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
salam. So I will share what I'm looking for, and sometimes we all benefit from like real examples, you know. So I will give a example that illustrates, you know, part of what I'm looking for. Of course, you know, I mean, firstly, you know, like Brother Abdurrahim said, sister on who has the proper belief, you know, she has a proper creed and everything, which of course is going to narrow down the availability of women greatly just by that, you know. But a brother, I was watching a stream, you know, that I normally wouldn't have watched, you know, but I watched it, and he was talking about how he was in a situation where he had got custody of his kids, you know, he had got custody of his kids from his previous marriage. But he was in straitened circumstances. But he, you know, we talked about the confidence where he still had confidence, you know, to pursue a wife, you know. He was living in his mother's basement, you know, and so some women were like, oh no, I ain't trying to deal with that, you know. But he you know, he shared the story publicly, you know. His wife now, you know, she took a chance with it, you know what I mean? And she like recited in English one of the ayahs of the Quran that, you know, that Allah, if you're poor, Allah will enrich you out of his bounty, you know, if you're familiar with that one. Mm-hmm. And she recited that, you know, convincingly, like she said, that's what she saw enough in his character and stuff like that, and that mattered more than the circumstances that he had, and she was willing to work with him. Even so, for so much that they were living separately, you know, in the beginning, you know, and he would travel, bring his kids to go with her, you know, and you know, take the pressure off his mother and stuff. And they made it work, you know. And then to the point where eventually, you know, Allah blessed him and blessed his work and stuff like that, you know, and he was able to do things and have a comfortable marriage. I mean, and today they're doing good, you know, and they were able to share their story to benefit others. So that's an example. I mean, for me saying that, you know, I want a woman, you know, that will believe in me, you know what I mean? She believes in me, and she sees enough good in me that she's willing to, you know, to overlook certain things that society might say, you know, that she shouldn't, you know what I mean? You know, that you should have this money, this amount of money, this such and such. I mean, I have a pretty decent job, you know what I mean, everything like that, but it's still, you know what I mean, ideally, you mean the ideal circumstances keep getting pushed, you know what I mean, in a different direction as far as what's ideal, you know, and stuff like that. And you know, so one that believes me is very important to me. That's high on the list because I'm a unique individual, you know what I mean, a unique person, not easily really to understand in depth, you know. So one that can connect with me on that level, you mean, it's going to narrow it down very much, narrow it down even more. One that can connect with me and understand my personality, and I can, you know, yeah. I was just looking at her comment. Trace that money can't buy. Yes. Yeah, but it will narrow down greatly what I'm looking for. Somebody that I can, you know, tell my secrets to, and they won't use them against me. You know what I mean? You hear brothers have real issues with that. You mean, or sometimes they share their secrets, and the woman uses it against them. You know what I mean? And that causes even more damage, even more disconnect. You know. Also, a lot of you talk to, I mean, you won't hear it because brothers don't necessarily share certain stories, but a lot of brothers, even they might be successful most of their lives, you know what I mean? You know, there might have been no issues, you know, socially, you know, but they had certain things, you know, that happened to them that it really took that woman who became the one, you mean, who was able to play a part in helping them be the man that they were, you know what I mean? They might have been still had one foot in the dunya, you know, and they got this woman, you mean, that's really down for them, you mean, and really wants to make things halal and right for them, you mean, and they still got to put in the dunya, and she's able to, you know, like, hey, I understand you, I got you, I'm willing, you mean, to listen to you, I mean, and you know, and help you get past this, you mean, so that's, you know, that's why, you know, like they say, you know, behind every good man is a good woman, you mean, women are by Allah's mercy. There's a lot of brothers where the women was able to play a great role in, you know, and helping him get to where he's at, you know. It's a story behind a lot of those men. So
I definitely agree with that. You know, when I married Samira, like up until that time, you know, because we're talking about now the late to mid 1990s, Brooklyn, New York. You have brothers that had more than one wife, but it wasn't as common as it like say as it is now, like in places like Philadelphia. It was like every other brother had more than one wife. It was like you can be like, it could be 100 brothers. You'd be like, that brother, he got more than one wife. Yeah, that brother got more than one wife. It wasn't that many, right? And so when Samira came and snatched your boy up, right, it was only then that I seriously like thought about it. Like I up until that time, I never thought about it. I was like, I ain't ready for that yet, right? You know, because at least back then, you know, you can't just, you know, just do it because you felt like doing it. You know, you're part of a community. You got to take care of the sister. You got to be responsible, right? And so I remember what I told her right outside of Masjid Taqwa. I was like, you know, I'm the brokest brother in the East Coast, right? You know, like, she says, I'm not worrying about that. I just want somebody to teach me my deen. And I remember emphasizing, like, I work, but I don't make enough money to take care of both of y'all. She said something like, you can buy groceries every now and then, right? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
The thing about that is you were actively engaged in your community, right? And you was honest from the beginning about what you can provide and what you can't provide, right? But oftentimes nowadays, like, it's not that many brothers who are like that, who was actually on the ground doing the work in these masjids and straight up honest about what he can provide for the woman, what he can't provide. And then so they expect a woman to go off potential. And from a woman's perspective, going off potential is like you're walking on a tiny thread. Like, who said you're gonna make it to the end?
Well, so transversely, that it's the same thing for a man, because a man, he may want a woman who is ambitious, and she's talking ambition, but she may not be ambitious, and so now he's going off of her potential too. And so, looking at both sides of that, we have to make sure that, and not for you, I call her daughter, so y'all had her, but that's my daughter too. And so you have to look at it on the side of, because what happens is we kind of get caught up in what potential he may have, but what potential do we have? Because I saw a meme or something, or I don't know, it was something that said that her beauty doesn't raise your children, she does. And so, yeah, she's really beautiful and she has the potential to be a good mother, but and so some people work off of that, not even just look. Some people work off of, wow, she sounds like she could be really good. So I think, especially in Muslim marriages, we work off of potential anyway, because there's no dating. There's no, we're going to be together for this amount of time. And I'm not talking about the toxic sides. There's none of that. You can't. So we're all working off of potential, and we're all hoping that, please let this be right. It's like, my gosh. And so, I was talking to somebody about that today, that, sometimes Allah presents us with something and we're like, oh my gosh, is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Is that it? And so I said to the person that I was talking to, I said, because they're on the fence about whether they should get married or not. And I said, imagine if, and I'm not giving Allah, I'm not making him like his creation. It was just an example. I said, imagine if Allah hands you Jannah on a gold platter and says, here's Samira, here's Jannah. And you look at it and go, I don't know, I got to pray about that a little more. I'm not sure.
Man, I'll pray after I take that Jannah.
But, and so I said to the person, what is a ticket to Jannah? A righteous spouse. So if Allah is putting a righteous spouse and even a potential of a righteous spouse on a gold platter, and you keep going, oh, you're pushing it away without even giving it an opportunity. And so I think that a lot of times what happens is again, with the gender wars, because society makes us do all this stuff. And then we bring it into Islam. Like, get that out of here. Like, it's just like, like Serena with the tennis ball, get that out of here. I don't want that. I want to make sure that I see the potential, because we're supposed to think the best of each other. But if somebody shows you better than they tell you, that's different. But if you see a potential and that potential is strong, then what's the problem?
That's why.
Oh, hold on. We need to take a commercial break. Brothers, if you've been hurt by a sister, you may be entitled to compensation. The law firm of Tanwir Farouk and Abdul Zahir can help. Well, how much is your retainer? Because I've been hurt by sisters before. Seriously, joking.
I love it.
Joking, serious. I've been hurt by sisters before. So, what's your retainer? Is there an email discount?
Get a free quote.
I can't. I don't want to.
Oh my God.
And that is too funny. But you know what? And there's so much truth in that PSA, because sometimes men don't even want to talk about the fact that they were hurt by a woman. And so that's kind of what causes a disjointing in another relationship, because he may not have even wanted to discuss it, and not in a bad way. It's just that you're protecting your heart. There's nothing wrong with protecting your heart as a man. Men, when y'all fall, they tell you get up and be a man. No, he's two. He's not a man. When they call, oh, that's my king. No, he's not. He's a king in training. He's a prince. Like, stop making these little boys you're making them your husbands. You're making them your men. And so you're not giving them an opportunity to be in touch with that part of them. And so that part sucks. I don't, my grandson, he falls and he's like, woo, and I'm like, get it out, because that hurt. You got a whole cut on your leg, sir. Bismillah. Come on, his name is Bilal. So it's come on, Bilal. Let's, you know, and then he gets up, Mimi, I feel better. Alhamdulillah. There you go. So because I want him to be in touch with that part of him, so that, and then, you know, and inshallah, you know, he will understand that women have that thing with them, because he put Adam to sleep. Azza wa Jalla. He put him to sleep when he did.
There's a term for what you just described. The negative part. What is it called? Maternal incest or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you make your little son your husband, and you
emotional incest.
Say it again.
Emotional incest.
Yeah.
Emotional incest. Like, emotionally, that's your husband, but biologically, that's your son.
The only thing you're not doing is, you know, the thing. That's it.
It's emotional though. So now you have him thinking that he has to be everything for you. Right. He has a responsibility to you as him being your son and your mother. Right. But he doesn't have that responsibility of being your man.
And then he don't want to be a man when he's with a woman. He want to be with his mama. So he expect her to be his mama.
And then the poor brother married his sister and realized she already got a husband.
her son.
Thanks.
Don't admonish my son. That's my son.
Khadija made a very good point about, you know, that analogy about gender on a golden platter, right? Our mindset is all warped. We limit ourselves to this dunya. We don't think about, this is my connection to Allah. This is going to bring me Jannah when I do this. So your mindset, when you just thinking about the dunya, okay, how much money he made? Okay, what's my dowry? Oh, what he riding? What kind of job the brother could be a billionaire and be a bum. You hear me? The dude can have dollars, planes, trains, automobiles, everything, and he'll be the worst husband. But you would think, women like, well, he gotta have his funds right, because it ain't nothing going down with. Okay, you get that, and guess what you're gonna get? Guess what you potentially can get? A bum, a sucker, right? So we gotta stop thinking superficial when we're looking for a spouse. You may have your preference what he'll look like or what she look like, but if she's not gender material, you're not going to win. And if you're not gender material, meaning like you're not fasting, praying, you got to be on your stuff. And you got to look for that in somebody else. If that man is not praying, don't marry him. If that sister's not praying, don't marry them. If they're not looking to increase their knowledge in the deen to be a better Muslim, do not marry them. That's where it starts at. Right?
And that's where the potential comes, because somebody can tell you all day long that they're praying. They can say that. And then when you get married, you live with them and you fighting them to wake up for Fajr.
Exactly.
And it's like, what? I can't even. I want you to wake up for tahajjud with me, and you're not even getting up for. Shoot, you're not even getting up for Dhuhr. What are you doing? You know, so.
SubhanAllah. Allah's going to send you what you need. You understand? You got to pray for it, but you got to be ready for it. Because, we pray for stuff we're not ready for.
That's what Sunshine keep telling me. I keep telling her, we have all these. I love her. You are so blessed, Imam Naeem. She is a gem. You don't even know. MashaAllah. I love her.
Trust me, I know.
Oh, he's trying to raise his hand. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Issa.
Yeah, I wanted to say something to the potential thing. We have to recognize too that everybody is not chiefs. You know, everybody's not going to be chiefs. You know what I mean? We do need workers too. You know what I mean? And we, you know, it's only going to be a rare people that's going to be that chief. You know, some people is going to be helping, you know, helping do the work. But you know what I mean? So that's something to keep in mind. You mean workers need love too.
Oh, of course. Listen. Yeah, of course. I wanted to piggyback. I said piggyback, right? Turkey back, beef back, lamb back. Oh, what the email said.
Veggie back.
Veggie back, vegan back, but vegetarian. You had said about leadership, right? And confidence. Women is attracted to leadership, period, right? But it's the confidence that exudes from them, that emanates. They love that. Okay? You may not be a leader, quote unquote, for a community, but you're a leader in your household. You're a leader in your community, whatever you do, at work or what have you. That right there, a real woman is going to be like, I got to have him. He may not have all the money and all that stuff, but we could work with that. And we're not saying you
Just
be a
like
boss.
you work with me, right?
Yeah, but you gotta, like.
I did buy groceries, I think, one time.
Yeah, you did. But you know, she'll work with you. But the thing about it is, this is the point. There are some men that don't want to work. They don't want to be a man. They don't want to take care of their family. They don't want to do those hard things that is required of them as being a leader. That is what we're complaining about, because it seems like I can't depend on you. I got to do it myself, and I've always made that point.
You know what, Samira? That's deep, because we got two segments in our community that go by unchastised. We got the ratchet, irresponsible Black woman, and we got the irresponsible, non-responsibility taking Black man. That type of Black woman, other women don't criticize her. And that type of Black man, other men don't criticize them. And a lot of times when we have conversations like this, it be like if we're focusing on the women, from the man's perspective, like the women who not like that will be like, well, I ain't like that. But that's your best friend. And you're not checking her when she's dragging her baby daddy down over the hot coals, when she's for no reason at all not allowing him to see his children, but all these other random men is around his children, right? Yeah. You're not checking her when she's doing that, but that's your best friend, right?
I don't understand why people do that. My ex, when he says he wants them, I'm like, yes. I don't understand it. Unless there is it's a safety issue. Why do people keep the kid away from the other parent like that? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. You're not making a whole child of that.
And the point that I wanted to highlight is this happens in the Muslim community and in the non-Muslim community.
Yeah.
That woman who's doing that, her friends see it.
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10 won't say nothing.
Yeah. I'm not that one.
Yeah.
I'm not that. Yeah. And even when I have friends that are going through issues or situations, I'm not that friend that's gonna jump on the bandwagon with you. I've never been that one. And anybody that knows me, they know that I give you advice. I give you Islamic advice. I give you emotional, feminine advice. And at the end of my advice, I say, but you already know what you have to do. I can't tell you to leave or stay. I can't tell you to do. The only thing I can say to you is you already know, because we were already given that in the womb. So you just have to tap into that. Your fitra, tap into that and find out what you have to do. And it starts with your istikhara. What is going on with you and your connection with Allah? Is that antenna? Is your antenna up? So be clear. That if you, and I tell them, you already know how I am, be clear. Anybody new in my life, I say, be clear. I'm not going to tell you to leave or stay, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you advice that inshallah is going to help you, because I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to tell you to leave and then there's this potential for you to stay because it's a misunderstanding. And I think y'all talked about it before. I agree wholeheartedly with continued counseling, even as a married couple, with someone you trust. Just because you get married, it doesn't mean that that your issues go away. I'm in therapy. I have life coaches out of the wazoo. I have a spiritual therapist that, alhamdulillah, I trust my imam, and so I can talk to him. And that's not going to stop. And whomever I marry, he's going to meet him. And, if of course, if I start going to his masters, whatever, but you're going to meet him. You're going to meet my stepfather. You're going to meet those people. And then speaking on about the women, my mother is I don't know if you could tell, she's a very strong-headed woman, very strong-headed. She became Muslim when I was 5. And she's always been, I known her to be strong. My stepfather, he is strong, but he's rather in the background. We've established businesses in the community when I was younger. We had catering businesses. We did hospitals, jails, schools, everything. And the brothers used to make fun of my stepfather because, Saud, her name is Sauda. Go figure, her name is Sauda. Sauda, she's taking ahead. I guess you just let her do that. And he was like, yup. Because she knows what she's doing. And, and it's working. And so he was not, he didn't have this insecurity about who she was, because she was who she was. And, to this day, she has a school, from age 2 all the way up to high school. She's graduated kids at 14 years old. She has a school. So, but what does it look like him telling her, and she's a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, Rasulullah Sallallahu, he took care of business, but he knew his wife was a businesswoman. He did what he had to do. And we're not taking those examples from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We're not taking even the women. Even though we have the Aisha's jealous and all this, no, but she respected her co-wives, period. Whenever she mentioned them, we learned she always had a high regard for them. So in each of those, I know I flopped because you said many things, Imam Naeem. And so, with each of those scenarios, we're not taking the example of Insan al-Kamil. We're not. And if we did that, we would see that the answer, there is no secret. Like, it's right there. Make it make sense. Like, and I'm speaking to myself before I speak to anybody. It makes sense. Now, might I flip a plate over? Am I okay with polygyny? I'm not sure. I'm not denouncing it because Allah says that it is what it is. Will I flip a plate if she brings it over, trying, be cute or something? I don't know. But I know I'm going to respect her, and of course this is all in joke, but I'm just saying that there's so many beautiful examples of, what you can be as a married couple. You can be Fatima radiallahu anha, who was in the house. She was like, I'm not for all the business. You can be Khadija radiallahu anhu, who was like, I'm not for the business. You got this, but I know how to keep my money going. There's so many examples of us, and we're not just one thing. We're so many, and it's the same thing with men. Men don't have to. Speaking to Sidi Isa, we teach our kids, be leader, not a follower. Be a leader, not a follower. So then, at some point, you still have to be a follower, because how are you going to learn how to lead if you're not following somebody? Make it make sense. So, but this is the example, because Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he even in some of his times, he watched people, and he kind of was like, okay, I can see where you're coming from with that, and then he guided them. He was a very humble leader. So we just make it make sense.
It's funny, Sister Khadija, you just reminded me, when we were at the summit, one of my former leaders was there, Imam Siraj, major impact in my life. He's the first one that married me and Samira.
He married me too. He was one of the imams that was at my first wedding.
Alhamdulillah.
I got an opportunity to, alhamdulillah, apologize to him for, on occasions, looking hindsight, 20 years in the future, right? I said, man, I could have made better decisions. I don't think I was a good follower. And he didn't even remember, and I had to remind him. I was like, yeah. I was like, no, I apologize. He's like, but don't even worry about it. I was like, no, I just had to apologize anyway. I know how it is now. So some of the stuff I did gets done to me now. I know how I feel. So now I'm apologizing.
You know, from my perspective, what you mentioned about, being told be a leader, not a follower, to have a balance in that is to be told to be a leader, not a follower, and have leaders in your family. But seeing your leaders have teachers, seeing your leaders being able to humble themselves and sit down with a teacher, that creates that balance.
Yeah, because all leaders, all good leaders, they've been followers, and to some extent they still followers, because usually ain't nobody here Amirul Mu'mineen, right? So all of us are leaders and may have leadership that's above us and who has leadership above them. So there's levels to this thing, right? None of us are the absolute leader. So at some point we're leaders and followers at the same time.
SubhanAllah. Let's see here. My question to all of you, you can chime in. What do you think as a community? What can we do? What does a community look like that helps nurture marriages, encourage healthy marriages? What does the community look like? Not just the couple, but the community. What is their function? What can they do to help to make sure that these little Jama'at, because they're Jama'ats in its own, prosper so that the whole can prosper? What can other people do? Because we got this mindset, it's just me and you and that's it. We get married, we don't have nothing to do with the community. And that's a no-no. So what responsibility does the community has to help marriages, to help couples, to help families?
My idea with that is the community goers, but the leaders, community leaders as well, they uphold a certain standard. People know what how they got to be when they come around, and it's not like anything just anything flies. The imam's my homeboy, he ain't gonna criticize me. None of that. You gotta. I don't have tolerance for certain things, and so just set that tone. What I expect of you when you come around here. So if you gonna be in this community, this is what I'm gonna expect of you, and of course, working closely with them to unlearn some behaviors, or having somebody work closely to unlearn certain behaviors so that they can finally live up to that standard. But maintaining that kind of standard, even if they get pushed back in the beginning, like, oh, you're too harsh or something, because it's going to seem like it's going to be seen like people will be seen as mean or whatever, because they're upholding a standard that people are not used to being held to. So that's my idea.
I think that there are too many safe spaces for bad behavior. Like I just gave a couple of random examples for individuals. Like a woman doing something bad, she has a safe space where people are going to validate her bad behavior. There are some places where men will openly exhibit bad behavior, and there's men that they can go to that will validate that bad behavior. Likewise, as a community, there's too many safe spaces where people can exhibit anti-community, unity behavior and be made to feel comfortable in that. Like, for example, we talk about uh, marriage, right? Even the idea of getting married, right? There's too many people that are willing to operate off code. Even back in the day, like when me and you got married, Samira, right? I couldn't just show up at some other masjid and say, me and this sister about to get married. They'd be like, hold up, brother, who are you? What masjid did you come from? At least a phone call would have been made. Do you know this guy, Naeem? He just came here and prayed with us and he's with this sister. What is this brother? Somebody's going to check, right? It was just normal, but now off-code behavior is normalized, and there's too many safe spaces for it. People can just pop up anywhere. Someone would do a marriage for them, and then that married couple will go off and do their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and not be part of a community, not none. It's just them. And
You know,
then their friends, their associates, their family make them feel safe in that isolation. And the only time that they come out of that isolation is if usually the husband, but if somebody abuses someone, then they come out of isolation. Community, help me. Imam, help me. Wait a minute. We tried to get y'all to, be community orientated from the beginning. You voluntarily chose to go off on your own. Now you're not getting your rights, or he's beating you, or she's slandering your name, or whatever the situation is, right? Some abuse going on. Now you want to become part of the community again. Y'all don't respect community. What can I do? I don't have no real authority here. Y'all on your own, the way y'all want it to be, right?
Yeah.
What can I say, brother? Fear Allah, sister, fear Allah. Other than that, what can I say? Oh, you want to ayat? You want a hadith too? Or you want a statement of the scholars? I can give you that. That's not going to make you change anything, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is that it's too much safe spaces. Too many of us make other people, even if we're not doing it ourselves, right? There are people around us who are doing it, and if they feel comfortable doing it. And like me, I took Shahada in prison. And in all of the prison communities I've been to, negative behavior wasn't even tolerated for Muslims in prison. As toxic and violent a place as prison, at least the place I went, you couldn't be a Muslim somewhere, off somewhere, messing with same sex or gambling or whatever people typically do in prison that's off, and be made to feel comfortable as a Muslim. The non-Muslim's gonna be like, yo, you a fake Muslim. You ain't supposed to be over here gambling with us, right? The COs are not even gonna respect you. The COs is gonna be like, y'all got a fake brother over there, right? You're not gonna be made to feel comfortable doing what you're not supposed to do. But in our time, right now, people have too many places that will validate their anti-community, anti-marriage, anti-male, anti-female behavior.
I don't get how people are comfortable. Like, there may be brother at the masjid, for a long time. You never know that brother to be married. But one day he come like on Jumu'ah or an event with big booty Judy. And you're like, what? And you're like one of the only people that's like, what the heck? Who is she? And you're just flabbergasted, like, what the heck? And everyone else just like, all right, like, what? Brother, this ain't the trap house. This is a masjid. Like, are y'all even married? You can't, like, and everyone just around it just thinks it's so normal. And it's just no biggie, no problem. You're like the only one with a problem, and it's like,
because it is normal now.
It is normal. Y'all have anything to add, Issa, Khadija?
Yeah, but brother, going off what Imam was saying about, people having too many safe spaces for our wrong, but and speaking to us who are trying to, eventually get back into marriage, those who have been married before, trying to get remarried, particularly those who've been married before, we don't realize the blessings and protection that are attached into doing things the right way. And just, even if it doesn't work out, what I mean, if we can do those things the right way, then it can lead to something that does work out the right way, even if it doesn't work out. But it just the blessings in doing it the right way. You got imams like Imam Naeem, Imam Amin, and they got the systems in place, with the counseling, which is the two parts, with the spiritual part, and then, the other part, and the system in place to protect both parties, that's something that we're going to have to take advantage of, because right now, a lot of our communities are not, a lot of us don't have existing communities, but we can take advantage of some of the resources that are available through our networks, And I think that's, those things that we often overlook, that we look as small, but try. We've seen that doing stuff our way hasn't been working. We've seen the results of where you brother's talking to a sister and they already like each other so much before somebody even knows about it, and then they want to bring it to somebody, and then most of the time that's just somebody that's going to agree with what they go along with, so they can pick somebody that's going to judge in their favor. But if we can start from the beginning, the right way, where we bring it to him, and get the blessings. There's so much blessings and protection in that, especially when it's not done. Because it's more reward in something that is more difficult to do than something that's easy to do. In our communities, it's harder for something like that to be set up where we have stuff done the right way. So it's an immense amount of blessings and protection that's in there that is ready for us. So that's one of the things that I want to.
I agree.
Like we going to Gambia, right? In June, right? The way we do stuff, like you just can't even if, say for example, a Gambian is on social media, Gambian brother and Gambian sister. They just can't just hook up and then just get married. People gonna be looking at them like they're crazy. They make it disowned, right? You gotta what we say, like what they say, like in the music industry or the street, you gotta check in, right? There's some family you need to talk to. You're gonna need to talk to, uncles, fathers, aunties, moms. You're gonna have to talk to a whole lot of people. You're gonna talk to imam. Don't care what city or town you come from. You're gonna, you're gonna have to talk to some people. Y'all want to get married, right? You're gonna have to check in. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that, right? We don't care if you living in America. You got all this Western money now. You want to marry this brother and sister? You better check in, right?
MashaAllah. I'm looking through the comments. Haja Stacey said, to my question, just keep the conversation going. Make it easy for folks to speak in safety. A marriage couples, code of conduct, talk about it, give advice ongoing. Wa alaikum salam to Nabi Katu, Sister Tahira. Thank you for joining us. Let's see, a particular curriculum for children so they grow up in the same on their same accord. I agree with that. That's important. Our children need to witness these good practices. These best
Abdullah, I was
practices.
just using Gambia as an example. I agree with what you said and what Abu Sabir said. Yeah, that's norm all across the Muslim world and even non-Muslim world, really, the non-West Muslim world. That's normal, right? We don't realize that we're living in an abnormal situation, and we try to normalize abnormal trends and stuff, and it's creeping in our Muslim community because you have people doing what they want to do and they're not checking in, and then getting upset when the repercussions of not checking in happen because there's no barakah in their marriage, there's no blessings in it, so everything shakes the core of their marriage because there's no community, there's no family, there's nothing involved. And they wonder, like, man, why is this happening to me? It's happening to you because you're not following protocol. You're looking for the loophole. A lot of us, we have that problem. We always looking for the shortcut. We always looking for the loophole. We always looking for the easy way, the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance is not always the best path.
SubhanAllah.
Sometimes it's better to move with blessings, to move with the people, the family making dua for you, that your marriage is successful. Not people looking at you like, when did they meet? How did they hook up? Who is he? Who is she? What, she got married? She didn't even invite me? I'm her cousin. I'm her aunt. I'm her mother. I'm her father. I didn't even get an invitation? Like, subhanAllah. Think about how many people may have the evil eye or just have anger towards your situation just because you want to do your own thing. Righteous Muslims. We cut out because we in America and we look for the loophole in everything. Instead, I want those type of marriages where, a whole bunch of people was making dua, and a whole bunch of people was saying Ameen, and it's a whole different experience. And also, I mentioned Gambia, Abdullah, because this is also a backdoor way of promoting our tour, because you still got about 5 days left if you want to go to
Shameless plug.
yeah, if you want to hold your spot, you still have 5 days to put your $500 deposit down if you want to go with us. And so, but I just mention those things because a lot of times when you physically come out of the box, and then you look back in the box, the contrast is real obvious. We may know it on an intellectual level, but when you leave the country and you see how normal people do stuff normally, right? Like, wow, ain't that how we supposed to be doing it as Muslims? Doesn't the Quran and Sunnah support this? Well, why are we not doing it? Right? But in play again, I'm just using Gambia. Obviously, I'm not only talking about Gambia, right? Gambia, in places like Gambia, the culture for the most part is Islam. Every people have a culture. Islam came, Islam filtered out all the things that's against Islam, and their culture remains. So the culture is not going to tolerate you doing stuff any which way you want to. And I always give an example. Like when I found out that for example, non-Muslims, Christians in Gambia, for example, they when they have a child, you might get their ceremony confused with an akika because it happens on the 7th day and all that stuff. That's because the culture there is just basically Islam. So even if you may not be Muslim, there are a lot of things that you're going to be doing that look Islamic. And so us over here, we're not dictating our culture. We don't have tribal leaders and all that kind of stuff. Our culture is forced and stuffed down our throats by social engineers and politicians and money people. And we have to know this on a conscious level so that we can protect ourselves and act and move accordingly.
Alhamdulillah.
Juma's tomorrow, and I'm giving a clip out of that.
Yeah, you are, brother. I wanted to comment. Did you want to say something, Brother Aldo?
Yeah, I was gonna say, thank you, sister. I was gonna say also, just to add in, that we have cut out a lot of our elders in this marriage process. It used to be that you had a certain class of people, in the let's say in the Jollier days in church. You had your first lady and things of that nature. Then you had her friends and other deacons. I mean, we can still bring that evolution of correct, Akida and Islamically, like you said, you can filter out, what we used to do as a culture and as Christians, leave all that other stuff out of there and bring the structure that we had originally in our churches, Islamically, and that being the elders in our mosque being able to have an input on marriages and counseling and things of this nature, because I mean, without that structure, we are really playing catch up, and we really are starting over and reinventing the wheel of the process of filtering out the knuckleheads that's going to be abusive to the institution of marriage. So that's definitely number one that I wanted to state. And also, if you look and see the work that is being put in this community, from the leadership and how long it's been there, you can get a feel what type of people are coming out of the community. I'm pretty familiar from mosque coast to coast because I travel a lot. So you can see the riffraffs, you can see the people who are not dedicated to the community. And I've been in one community I can just highlight. It's in Chicago.
and it's called the Mosque Foundation. Am I coming out clear? I just wanted to make sure because I am traveling while I'm talking.
You're
All right,
very clear.
good. So, anyways, at the Mosque Foundation, they're celebrating their 40th year anniversary. It's a Pakistani community, okay, and started off as a humble, what we would call a storefront community, right? And at this moment, I mean, they're at a I don't know, probably 30,000 square feet mosque. Okay, they have now across the street their own library and convention center. They have their own elementary. They have their own junior high, and they also have a warehouse. And all this is approximately within walking distance of their mosque. Okay, so this is something that you see at a 40-year dedication. I mean, you don't see some type of structures like that, with Muslims. You barely see it with white folks in their Christian organizations and colleges and things of that nature, right? But what I'm saying is learn the person that the community they're coming from. That's also important. Have they been attached to the community? Me being on the board of my mosque, I try to stay dedicated with what's going on, the nonprofit organizations. You learn to see how dedicated the person was to Islamic, community, and learn how, for us, definitely us in our group, learn to see how dedicated they are to African Americans. Because you might run into a Muslim that's like, look, man, I don't see race. And then you looking at them like, okay, you're a weirdo. So we have to understand that who we're dealing with on a lot of levels. But I would just like to reiterate that elders are important in the mosque, to be a part of the marriage institution. Going to the questionnaires. I know like Imam, you and Imam Fahim talked about you guys have questionnaires and things of this nature. I mean, let the elders be a process. I mean, that's a black thing. That's not just an African thing. That's an American thing for us to have these mosques, open to all generations and let them know that they're needed. And that's all I got to say on that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam to the
Wa alaikum salam to the barakatuh. I agree with what you said. When we go to Gambia, y'all going to see certain things that, at least I did. I associated it with the elders, the South, the Black church, whatever. And I seen certain things. I'm like, wait a minute. This stuff didn't start in America. This is from back home. It didn't start with the Black church or the South or anything. That's remnants of who we were before we were snatched up and brought over here. And you're going to see a lot of different examples of that in a lot of different areas in life. I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, inclusion of the elders is definitely part of it. Elders don't get left out of nothing.
Nope.
You're seen as you're not you're seen as almost like a rebel to do something and not include the elders. They just give you a random common example. And I have to be reminded of these things because I'm coming from America, right? So it's like we have any kind of ceremony, like an Akika or Walima or anything. Did you invite the village elder? Did you invite the imam of the area? Did you, right? And it's like, yeah, tell them to come. And look, no, you're the man. You're the father. You have to invite them. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go fight them down. You can't send them an email or a text message. No, you got to go there and invite them. It's respect. Anything other than that is disrespect. What happened to everybody? Everybody got offline except Adu.
I did want to mention real quickly was pertaining to what Sister Tahira had mentioned. Let me go back to her comment.
I hope I didn't scare everybody else.
No, no. She said, "What if they come from different communities and are in social media? That's how some marriages come to play. When we say community, we're not talking about just Masjid al-Mu'min, not just Masjid Muhammad of Atlantic City, not just Cuba School of Canada, right? Community mean a network, right? When you have a network of communities working together and not against each other, as Black folk, we have a bad habit of infighting. right? I was talking to my husband about this. What was the thing that the Muslims was doing during the time of the Prophet ﷺ where he did not reveal when the night of power was? Why don't we have that information? They were fighting. They were arguing. The very thing that we were commanded not to do, they did it, and we're still doing it, and it's hurting us. So imagine us now. We're not pious like they were, right? But we have a bad habit of not working together. Like, everybody has a role to play. We have this mindset that I gotta be the man, I gotta be the person up front. Everybody gotta see me, only, and then nobody else matters. It's not about who being seen, because you're not supposed to be doing it to be seen. You're doing it for lab, because you love your people, because you love Allah and His Messenger. You love the Deen, you love the Muslims, you want good for them. But we have a bad habit, and that's why our marriages, like, people can't find suitable mates, because we don't follow protocol. We break code. There should be no fighting. There should be an agreement, and there should be open communications amongst the leaders of different communities, right? Everybody should be on board and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're doing over here. I'm doing this over here. I got some brothers and sisters that's trying to get married over here. What you looking like over there? Like, this is the network. This is how you get married. This is how you get connected. But if you're not connected, if you're not plugged in, and you're just busy just worrying about yourself, nothing's going to come of it. And it's going to feel like there's no one out there for me, And we shoot ourselves in the foot when we do this infighting. And when we just do our own thing, or we just want to be isolated from everybody else. The one that's isolated is the one that's going to get eaten up. You're going to be attacked because you're not with the group. What Allah says, hold on to the rope of Allah and be not divided. Allah give us all these commands to help us to be strong and do what we're supposed to do as communities, and we refuse to take the medicine. The Quran is the cure. We refuse to take the medicine because we got egos. We got, these things in our heart that is, that's messing us up. Our hearts are messed up, and we need to cleanse them. We need to make it where we see good in people. We're able to tolerate, that we are able to, forbear, because the Prophet, the best of mankind, came as a mercy to the world, right? Everybody wasn't deaning correctly. They were naked going around the Kaaba, wine, having, all types of stuff, right? We get into this deen and like, astaghfirullah, brother. You're not supposed to be smoking that weed. Oh, sister, astaghfirullah, sister, you still out there doing your... We be looking down on people instead of trying to raise them up. They're no better. You're no better than them if you're not helping them out. You're no better than the weakest of you if you're not helping them out. So we have a duty as a community to help one another, to get up, to raise them, to help them. Even if they don't make it, at least you did your part. And you can go before Allah and say, Allah, I did my best. I tried to uplift my brothers and sisters in this deen. And, I know I made mistakes while doing that, but Allah, I did it from sincerity, from the heart. Can we truly say that? Because this fighting, infighting, all types of nonsense that we going on in our communities, it's got to stop. Oh, it ain't going to be a deen for us. SubhanAllah.
And what hurts, the ones who get hurt the most are our children.
I was about to say.
And I'm speaking from observation and experience.
Yes.
Yep. I have children that are the same age as my grandchildren, and I have children that are in their 20s. They're full-grown adults. And the destruction or the disintegration or the infighting or the incohesiveness of our families directly affects the children. I mean, the communities directly affects the children.
Yeah.
Directly.
I know out here in Baltimore, and I'm sure it's with other communities as well, but I was learning the history of the different masjids out here, and I know a lot of the young people that grew up, well, people my age and then a little younger and a little older. And when those breaks came, they stopped, they couldn't be friends anymore. And so, you know what I'm saying? I know it happened with us on Long Island. There were breaks and stuff like that where, we're going over here and we're going over there. And so now what are you teaching the children? You're teaching the children that you're this disjointed, and there's no to you your way and to me mine, but we can still be friends kind of thing. And that's why I think I said it. I don't remember where I said it. I said it on one of the platforms. I said that seeing that I said it in Imam Fahim's class, his Sunday class. He asked us, what some of our takeaways were. And I said, I'm such a wuss because I cry at everything. I cry for everything. And when I saw everybody praying together, and I saw, you, Imam, Imam Naeem and your family, I saw some other families, and, they were praying Maliki, way. I saw Shafi'i. I saw, but we were all praying together. And nobody was tapping somebody to say, that's not what you're supposed to do. And there was this adab that was so beautiful to me, because we're all doing the same thing essentially. We're just following a different math habit. It's like that on the computer. I think Gigi put it up. It was like it had these 4 streams with the math habits, and then it was like this big C in the background, and it was like it all came like that. Is what that scene reminded me of at the conference, and I think that the children are impacted the most. And so even with marriage, even when we're talking about marriage, we don't talk to the children about what womanhood is, what is manhood. We just automatically, we're like, oh, we don't want you to fornicate, so go ahead and get married. What? But you're not even helping them understand what it is to be a woman, what it is to be a man, what is your role. Right. And I got cut off, so hopefully I'm not repeating anything. I think that one of the things that will help the community, the question that you asked back probably 5,000 hours ago was, how do you help the community? Workshops. Have those workshops for the children so that they start learning about womanhood. And NOI had it right socially, because they have MGT, they have the young men training, and then they have those marriage training. Why are we not talking about that? I love your class, because both of you are talking about the issue of a woman's body changing together, because the man is impacted. Because if the man wants to be with his wife, he knows, I got 15, 20 days. I got to. But he knows that that's what he has to do. And so he's waiting at the door like, come on, what we got to do here? And this, what's going on, Janada, what's going on with that? And it will give him an appreciation, I think, for what goes on with the woman's body. And then transversely, the woman will have an appreciation for the fact that he wants her. Right. So she'll feel like, when we were talking about that, wanting each other, because he'll be like, dang, like, how many days we got? And it'll make her feel good because he's waiting for her. Right. And so if you have that understanding of how the bodies work together, then you understand, like, okay, well, we got to wait. We got to do this together. So you have the kids class, or the young people's classes. And then you have the women's classes. You have the men's classes. You have the couple classes. Right. So everybody I'm for therapy. I'm super for counseling. And I think that that's one of our breakdowns, is that we don't do that. And then there's a lot of cover, like you said, there's a lot of covering of stuff. If a brother's doing something or has done something, and then a sister comes along and says, oh, I really like him. Nobody it should be public knowledge. Like, this is what happened. And I'm not saying that you tell on him and make him look bad, or even her, because everybody makes it seem like the men do everything wrong. No, women do stuff too. And so if we have these, if the imams, the leadership has to know their flock. We go into these communities, and sometimes it's like, I've heard imams say, oh, I don't know who's married and who's not married. You should. Yeah. You should, especially if you're not just there leading prayer. If you're there teaching and stuff, you should know who's married and who's not married. You should know what's going on, because when you see, okay, well, Sister Samira's not married. Okay, Imam Naeem's not married. Okay, well, guess what? Okay, they look okay. I think that might work.
Right.
So having that unity and not having the, and we all, it's everything is not private. Everything is not. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, like one of the things you have to pronounce is a wedding, a janaza, and then think there is something else. Or those are two things, but those have to be public knowledge, so I ran my mouth, but I got cut off because I had an important call, because I'm still working. I had an important call, and then it got cut off, and then I was like, dang, I need to get back on. And so that's my take on everything that I remember was going on.
Alhamdulillah. Imam.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Mariam said, put it up there. It's heartbreaking to see the breakdown of children that affects the communities by way of broken homes and what comes with it. Heartbreaking. Yeah. Broken homes, broken communities. Like I experienced it myself. Like, you cool with somebody, you're part of the same community, and something happened, y'all beefing now, but your children is cool. And a lot of times it'd be like, when I say beef, I don't mean like street beef, but sometimes it'd be real stuff, but somebody's like really trying to destroy you. They're really trying to undermine you, right? And so you can't play with them anymore. Why not?
Or they don't give you the salams. The children they'll tell. They'll tell, or if the children don't give salams, that's because their parents told them don't speak to such and such. You're Muslim, right? That's the right of a Muslim, right? But your children, they don't know how to play it off. They're looking in your face like you don't even exist, like you a ghost, and keep on going. You're like, what's all that animosity? I don't have anything, any issues with that child, but this is what we do.
Yep.
On top of the fact that when we come together and you have youth and elders, the youth are supposed to give the greetings first. That's what the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said.
Yes.
So when you compound that on the fact that you told your child to disobey the messenger of Allah, when you see that person, you don't give them salams, right? Like we don't be thinking. We just be on some, Negro stuff, right?
We on the dunya. That's what it is. That's the dunya. I don't call anybody kufa. I don't say none of that. I just say the non-Muslim, and I say the dunya, because I don't want that to bounce back toward me, because may Allah keep us all the way from being kufar, because we are, Ameen, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. It's just we take the wrong stuff from the streets. The stuff, the code of the street is, to protect each other and hold on to each other. That's a code we should take. We shouldn't take all of the fitna stuff that just separates us. That ticks me off. And how are the young people going to want to come, specifically the males, and lead if they see that the adults are not doing what they're supposed to do?
Right.
I have friends from 40 years, and we grew up and we talk. I have 4 in particular. We have Zooms every month or so, like that, and we still group talk. And which is 2 of them were actually in the meeting yesterday. And we watched our parents sometimes get into arguments and stuff, and we, alhamdulillah, we had each other, because we were like, I'm gonna not talk to, and alhamdulillah, my mother didn't raise me that way to disrespect any elders, and so it happened to my kids. So I tell my children, if they even see that I have an issue with an adult, I immediately say to them, and you better not disrespect that adult. You better give salams, or you better say good morning, because this is not yours. This is mine, and these are things that we've lost.
Subhanallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum salam.
Yes. So, one key thing that has traumatized our community is the fact that we have no conflict resolution culturally. We don't have a space where we can move past the disagreement. It's just It really is just to you be your way and to me be my way, and then that just creates a billion sex, and like that's not a fix. To you be your way, to me be my way in the community.
You're right.
Because now it's a billion masjids beefing with each other, and we're all getting attacked by the same enemy, but it's still to you, to your way, to my. No, we gotta have a ground where we can hash things out and move forward.
Agreed.
And it has to be a culturally, because we not a have some funk. We not a beef. That's it is a beautiful thing that our art of trolling and our art of putting each other down. We've got comedians that make millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars clowning each other.
Yes.
But now we have to have this type of culture where we now come to some type of mature environment. I hate to use a square phrase. I'm not nothing like that, you know what I'm saying, but a safe space.
Yes.
You know, you got to forgive me. I'm somebody that took a shahada in the penitentiary too, so that's just weird for me to say. But you gotta be able to now. Hey, on the real though, you know, I ain't gonna lie about it. So, but we have to have some areas in our culture where we can maturely sit down as leaders. You know, not all the Indians, just the chiefs.
Yes.
Okay, and say, okay, where we go, you know, different in this fork of the road of Aikido or opinion or whatever, we'll go separate from this. But we got to move as one, as a unison, you know, up until this point. And if you're not going to do that, then you're really playing games with creating ummah, you know. And so if we could do that, then you're serious, you know, then you're serious about spreading Islam.
Yes.
But if you're saying, I'm closing my door because, you know, you're a kafir. I'm closing my door because you're misguided. I'm closing my door because you said something about my mama. You know, it goes on, and then therefore downward, just like the churches, we'll have one mosque on a corner over here, and catty corner to that be another mosque. And we don't talk to each other during Juma. You go to your door, I go to my door, we get into our parking lot and we pull off and we act like it's not even another mosque across the street. Man, that's crazy. It's insane.
Not even realizing that as you're not speaking to one another, like you're sinning. You're sinning.
Imam Rahim always describes that situation where he is in Camden. You have his masjid and then another masjid not too far away from there, like walking distance, and they don't speak to each other. Right?
Yeah. It's conflict resolution, man. It's on a very low level of disagreement. I mean, we got all of the student of knowledge around us to show us how to come together, but the beef is strong in us. It's really not about coming together and saying this is where we're going to part our ways, but we're going to combine our structures, our community to a certain extent. Because the Wahhabis do it. There's more than, you know, I don't know, 10 different sects in Wahhabis, but they somehow come together. There's more than people don't know this, but there's more than 10 different sects in the Nation of Islam. But they still come together. You know, you can go on and on and on. So the people that claim to really, you know, want to live this deen as close as to the Sahabas radiallahu anhum as possible, then let's be truthful. Let's create the environment for debates. And like the Quran said, you debate in an intelligent tone.
Yeah.
But bring it to the table.
Yes.
Bring it to the table.
Bring
it.
That's what, you know, my mom, she has a summer camp. And so what she did was, years back, I guess it has to be like maybe 13, 14 years back, she decided to, all the camps in Roosevelt is like 1 square mile, it's small. And she decided to have a camp day at the end of the summer. And so the first few years, she you know, fronted all the food and all the stuff. The kids were competing and they had all of the different things that they were doing and everything. And then she was like, because people were saying, so everybody has to kind of give. So she had a meeting with everybody and, trying to get everybody to kind of work together to be together. She stopped doing the competitive stuff because then it became this camp is going to win next year. So then the kids started to kind of fight each other, and she just made it non-competitive in that she had trophies and stuff like that for each of the camps. But that would not have happened had she not said, we're all separate, but we're all doing the same thing. So I'm just kind of, going along with what the brother said, is that if you just sit for a minute and think about what is common. And for her, what was common was we are all in Roosevelt. We all have summer camps. We're not competing against, well, she doesn't compete with anybody. She said she always says to me, the only person you compete with is yourself. And even in hiring and firing, she says the people will fire themselves. You don't have to worry about firing anybody.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true right there. We know that.
Yes.
And it's just for us to make it official, but they fire themselves.
Yes. And so for her, this Roosevelt Camp Day was something that brought us together, and it had the kids not feeling like, well, AMC, her camp was AMC, all my children, AMC is over here, Rosie's over there. No, we're all here. We have our different t-shirts on, like the math habs. We all have our different t-shirts on, but we're all doing the same thing.
Right.
Like the family reunion.
Yes,
right?
That's
like
exactly it.
Like when my family on my father's side, we have family reunions, it's almost like,
Mashallah.
Okay, you got so-and-so's children, right?
Yeah.
And you got so-and-so's children, right? And when I go, I got a whole lot of kids. So it's like, we deep in here. My father be like taking his chest out, like, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's a beautiful thing, because I'm also on my family reunion board. So I have to conduct the whole family reunion in the hotel, and I understand exactly what you're saying. And if we teach it at a young age, like the sister was saying, then we don't get to act like children. Well, we can't find commonalities. But you didn't learn this as a child, so therefore you pass it on as this is my truth. But it's not your truth. It's your lack of being able to debate.
Yeah, it's your
Yes.
I want to speak to what Aldo mentioned about conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm saying, because I talk about Gambia a lot. Don't think I think Gambia is the only place on earth. It's just in the.
We know it's all cap. It's okay, Iman.
That's just the African people who I interact with the most, because I got family there and everything, right? But I saw a situation years ago when an imam of a masjid had an issue with a teacher that was running his Quran school. And the imam is older, and the brother who was running his Quran school was younger, a teenager. And they had some differences. And I was there. And I'm hearing both sides. And I said to the imam, call him in the office when you talk. I'm like, nah. I said to the Quran teacher, won't just go talk to him. Just put everything out on the table. He was like, nah. What I come to learn, like when that whole thing was going on, that, like, once again, in the culture, conflict resolution, the way to handle it is already built in. That adult may be wrong, but you young. You're not approaching him directly. You go to your family, tell your family what's going on, and then his peers will come and address that adult.
Third party.
Yes. And
you got to have a third party in a disagreement.
Yeah. And in other words, you young, he's older, even though you feel you right, you gotta get the adults in your family to talk for you. You can't talk for yourself.
And they gotta see that it's even an argument that you should be having.
Right.
Because what you're doing is asking them to put their neck on line you know, as an authority figure, as someone that's a proud contributor in the community for whatever your complaint is.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that if we can, you know, I'm not, you know, anybody close to learning enough hadith as I should, but I think if we had some students of knowledge or you, Imam, to really dig into what is the proper arena to have what the Quran says, intelligent debates,
Like
that we can start making that a culture, because this is how Malcolm grew up, and you knew how Malcolm grew up. He grew up as a debater.
Yeah.
And this is something of our culture, how we can just say intelligence against intelligence. You know, we raise our children in this format also, you know, just debating in an intelligent form. And I think that's part of our culture, because we are some argumentative people.
Yes.
We will, you know, about anything, sports, thieves, the sky color, anything. So I think that's
Best
one
rapper.
thing that we, best rapper, come on. Hold on. What coach you talking about, right? So hold on now, right? But you got
the most money.
You got the most money, you know, things like this, just, you know, stuff that's not really serious, just trivial things. But culturally, I think we're good debaters, and I think that's something that we can start implementing online, you know, just showing our children how to debate. You know, we create this platform for children to debate Islamic things and show them how to disagree, then it'll end. The cycle will end, instead of us continue to reinvent the wheel instead of building.
Yeah.
You know, we're just reinventing the wheel. So if we can teach our children how to be in this conflict resolution, then people can't divide us, because that's what it's all about anyway, right?
Just build in and then just tear it down. Build in and then tear it down. Build in and tear it down.
Yeah.
That's right.
And with my daughter, my 18, she just turned 18. She was having some issues with her teacher in school. And so when she comes to me, I'll say, am I listening or am I advocating? And so, you know, so because she'll, mommy, and I'm like, wait a minute, am I just listening or am I advocating? And so she had a situation where the teacher had given them her group a really bad grade, and they had quarantined. They had, you know, they were out of school. And so she said, mommy, and before I even said anything, she said, mommy, this is listening. I want to write an email to the teacher, and I'm going to CC you and daddy on it. And, you know, so that you can see if I'm saying what I'm supposed to say. And so she, you know, she let her father check it. And when she came to me, though, it was a different thing, because I said, I need for you to write the email and you can send it. And she was like, no, I want to see it. So her father checked it. But I wanted her to have the experience of not having somebody check something, so that then you can relook at it and say, dang, I could have did that in real time. But, you know, her father checked it, but alhamdulillah. And so she was having she was going, you know, when I say back and forth, like there were the email transactions. So her father and I were just watching the emails to make sure that she and he were being respected. And but this is what you're supposed to do. You know, and we're supposed to, from a young age, let the children, we have to give them those experiences, so that when they get older, they'll be able to say to themselves, oh, you know what, this is not good. And so now at 18, she's able to have, she has conversations with her teachers. And when we have conferences, they're like, you know, Rabia, she's very
articulate,
but she's very respectful. And so I'm like, okay,
emotional maturity right there, right?
I don't have to worry about her. She's one of those kids. She's like, I'm too lazy to get in trouble, so I need to figure out how to do this now, because I don't feel like getting punished. No, nothing. I don't want it. But you know, just giving them. We have to give children the space to make mistakes. But you know, I'm not saying to let them fly off the handle, but we have to give them a moment so that they can make mistakes, so that we can say to them, now, what could you have done differently? Because we don't always have that, because my mother's generation, she was raised by my great-grandmother. So my great-grandmother was born in 1900. So she's like a dope grandmother, because she was raised by her grandmother. But with us, she was like, no. And she just, you know? And so now I'm learning from me. Like I have to give the children space. I can't assume that just because they may want to go here or there that they want to do something wrong. And then I give them that. They listen to music. If I listen, I'm listening to it too. And I'm like, well, what is that saying? If they're watching something, when the Disney Channel was big, I used to always say to them, do you realize that they're making the parents look silly? And they were like, oh gosh, Mom. And then when they got a little older, even single digits, they said, Mommy, you know what? You're right. Because so-and-so's father, they always make it seem like the children are smarter than the parents. And I said, that's done by design. It's done by design. And so we have to give them those spaces so that when they get older, I have certifications in conflict resolution and restorative practices. And so giving them those spaces, giving them I have a wand when we have our sessions. And so, or with the boys, we have football. Some girls like football, so we'll do that.
I was about to say, I hope you're not handing the wand to a son. Please
no.
Listen. Not sending my sons over there.
Like it's a big, like it's one of those what's the thing called?
Can they get a sword or an axe or a chainsaw?
Don't make me fight you. It's the pool noodles. The pool noodles. And then we also have football.
Mishwax, anything, yeah.
Listen. And so they're able to, for the football, they're able to throw the football to whomever they feel like they want to get, because sometimes they don't want to hear from, like, I may not want to hear from Imam Naeem. I want to hear why Samira said what she said to me. So I say, throw the ball to whomever you want to throw it to. And so throw it to me. Okay, well, what happened, Samira? Well, I feel like she did this, and that. By the end of it, they're laughing and talking. Sometimes it's like, but sometimes you need a minute. Yeah. I know when I'm at work, I need my 15 minute. I need my half hour and my hour break. So take a minute. But we're not teaching the kids this. We're teaching them this micro.
We don't know it ourselves. Yeah.
We need to kind of like wind down. We almost 3 hours. But I do want to mention this because, I read it twice and it hit me what Issa said. Introvert moment. By the way, I'm an introvert. I don't know if y'all know that. I'm an introvert.
No, you're not.
No, definitely not.
No, seriously, I am. It takes a lot for me to come out like this. It's work. It's actually physically tiring.
Sunshine, look.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention him by name, right? But at the summit, I was talking to another imam who I just met at the summit. I didn't know him before then. He mentioned in passing that he was an introvert. I said, "You too?" I didn't. Yeah, being an introverted person when he's presenting or she's presenting and giving out, a lot of people don't know that's a lot of work, man. It's physically tiring because you're going against with your comfort zone to do to present or whatever. But anyway, Issa said, introvert moment. I don't want a sister to look at my potential. I want her to value me for who I am. Facts. I agree with that.
Facts.
And I'm talking about like even me, because this is my problem before in some of my past marriages, right? A lot of times you look at the one you're about to marry and you see them for who they are, but you see them also for who they could be.
Yes.
And a lot of times you marrying, not them, but you marrying their potential. Mm-hmm. And everybody don't reach their potential.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a two-way street. I think I was told that men marry women hoping that they'll stay just like how they married them. Mm-hmm. And women marry men hoping that things is going to just get even better.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because Shaitan had a lot of potential. He was hanging with the
Listen. Tell him about it. Bruh,
not a lot.
You was all the way up inside of there. You had the whole ticket. You didn't even need a ticket. You were right there. And then you decided to go smelling all up in Adam. Like, I know I'm better than him. I know more than him. Now look where you at.
And just to wind it down as far as this, I know we kind of digress to conflict resolution. It's going to take you to not be, I'm better than I'm like, I'm better than this. I don't need to resolve anything. It's nothing wrong with me. Mm-hmm. So if you're not willing to admit that there is something that needs to be addressed, you're not going to come to the table because you already got it. And so that's going to be your downfall. So we need to all look within ourselves and say, hey, what is preventing me from, resolving conflicts, with one another? What is it? Be real honest. You don't have to say it out loud, but this is what's stopping me. I need to work against that. Like you're saying, you're an introvert, and being open or, vocal as you are, it takes work, right? You're exerting energy that you don't normally exert. That's the same thing. We got to work against that ego, work against that pride, work against that stuff that's like keeping you from, making things happen. Because it'll be a beautiful thing if we can do that. We can do so much. We can do so much. Wow.
Yes.
But with that being said, Juma Mubarak.
Right.
No, Juma Kareem.
Alhamdulillah, we thank each and every one of you for tuning in, chiming in, coming on board, coming in and giving us your take and input. It is valued, and I really believe that this conversation was very, very necessary and very, very inspiring to those that are watching. I'm looking at the numbers. I really believe that this is what we need. We talk about marriage all the time.
Yeah.
But this episode in particular, we're taking a look like, okay, beyond the marriage itself, what is it that we need to do to make it work, to get to that marriage or to make it work, right? And so this is some, takeaways. We have to be prepared, be educated, be open, be part of a community, respect leadership, respect one another, right? Include our children, right? And if it doesn't work out, what do? We come together and figure out this thing so that we can still push forward, so that our future generations, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, right, will be able to, be mature enough to handle what needs to be handled so that their communities keep thriving and such. So we got to stop thinking about just ourselves. Because some of us, we didn't even think of past ourselves. We got children, they grown, they're going to do what they want to. That's bad. No. Don't let that be your attitude. They grown, they're going to do what they want to do. That means your lineage is going to stop at you. It's going to stop right where you are. That's how deep it is. So let's look past that and try to work towards that. And if we all have that same goal, it ain't just on one, few shoulders. It's on all of us, so it won't be just one person trying to do all the work. If we all do the work, it'll just make that much easier for us to be a great asset, to this world, to this dunya, and then be greater servants to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah.
If I could just say one more thing before we go.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's make sure we hit up Naeem's Cash App, Imam's Naeem Cash App. Thank you very much tonight.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Did you put your Cash App up there?
Go put your Cash App up there.
No, he's an introvert.
You better stop being an introvert. Somebody said closed mouths don't get fed. Come on here.
I'll put it up there. There you go. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Thank you. So alhamdulillah, please research Ukaf tonight. If not, before Fajr, after Fajr, but before Maghrib, make abundant prayers upon the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's going to be our lifeline. That's going to help us to strengthen our iman. And make dua for your brothers and sisters in Islam, ones that are here, one that return back to Allah, one that are sick. May Allah heal them. May Allah heal the brother in Kansas. May Allah, heal our sisters and brothers that are going.
His name is Abdul Jama. He's with Abdul Rahim, the brother that had problem with internet problems.
Yeah,
is Amir. They work together.
Yes.
He was with us and when we went to Wichita. So keep him in your dua. For all of you who came in late, he had a stroke last night.
Yes.
And so dealing with that. So
Amen. And we thank you, and please keep us in your du'as, and we thank you for supporting this platform. We've been doing this for a minute, like 2010, I believe, and we still going strong, and it's only successful because of you, and we love you for the sake of Allah, mashallah, and we hope that you love us as well. And until the next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. والآخرة إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Put some money in that Cash App.
Yes, sir.